Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Some of us dress for the occasion.
We don't
it's
care about
Easter
what anybody's
weekend.
wearing. All we care about
Some
is
of us.
that some of us have an LA swimming pool filled with Diet Mountain Dew, and I just poured a whole nother case into it last night. That's all anybody really cares about.
What we bet on?
Huh?
I forget what we bet on.
Oh, well, you forget what we bet on. I told you you're barking up the wrong tree with the Nets because the inspired team was going to be the dangerous team, the road team, the Sixers.
I just knew I was going to get it because once I found out, I was like, Joel Embiid.
Oh, you thought you stole a case.
I did.
Yeah, you thought you stole a
I
case,
did.
and it didn't work out. But that's okay.
It's all right.
Next.
I'm glad you showed
I think
up,
the Nets
though.
was doing what I was doing. Like, Joel Embiid out. We got this win.
Maybe.
We have a lot
Your
to
day
get
coming,
to.
bro. Your day coming.
Today,
You know, you've been saying that for 2.5 years.
It's coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming. Maybe today's the day.
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Avalanche, and then we'll all know it.
Is this a Denver prediction?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get this thing going. On today's show is Ben Simmons, the most valuable Sixer, and then Ray Allen gave his take on one of this show's favorite debates. We'll get there, but we're going to start with the defending champs. The Warriors got off to a fast start in Game 3 and cruised to a wire-to-wire blowout win. They now have a 2-1 series lead against the Clippers. Kevin Durant responded to Steve Kerr's challenge to be more aggressive, leading the Warriors with 38 points, including 27 in the first half. This was after KD only shot the ball 8 times during the game to collapse, and he scoffed at Kerr's request to shoot more. Durant certainly appeared to be motivated by something, but after the game, he insisted there was no extra fuel to his fire. Take a listen.
I've been in for 12 years, and I'm 30. I don't need to show nobody nothing at this point. I think a lot of people who watched the game, who analyzed the game, thought that I should be engaging in a one-on-one physical battle, whatever that is, to other people with Patrick Beverley, and I don't do that type of stuff. I just play. So that's what I was trying to let people know.
Okay, Shannon, are these the Warriors you expect to see the rest of the playoffs?
No. Look, as they go further along in the playoffs in the Western Conference, they're going to meet teams that are more talented than the Clippers. The Clippers are not as talented as the Rockets, and they're not as talented as the team that's going to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. So, no, but if you're going to tell me they're going to shoot 69% from the field in the first quarter, 80% from the three, then nobody's going to even be close. Kevin Durant was aggressive. He got to his spot last night, Skip. He did, and he went early. He wasn't waiting around, see what's going to happen. They did a better job of posting him up, but they posted him at the top of the key. So that way he made his move quick. You didn't come in time. He rose up over the top. You came. He passed the ball to Steph and Clay. They were unbelievable last night, and it might have gotten worse than what it did had he not got 2 quick fouls, had Steph not got 2 quick fouls, because Steph was 3 of 3 in the first quarter, 13 points. KD was 5 of 5. But when Steph picked up that third quick foul, he had to sit down for the rest of the half. Look, we know what the Warriors represent. We know who KD is. KD is as good as it gets in the NBA. But to think they're going to play like this every single game, I just love what I saw from KD. I thought he was really aggressive, Skip. He got out in transition. He got a couple of dunks. He got a putback and got fouled. The thing that saved him, that he had some great looks at threes. The 3-ball wasn't falling for him like it normally is. He took 10, he only made 3. Kevin Durant's a much better 3-point shooter than that. That ball wasn't falling, but he was great last night. At one point, he was 10 of 15, finished 15 of 23. But he had it going. They're good. But I'm anxious to see them in the second round when they go against the Houston Rockets, someone that has substantially more firepower than what we see the Clippers can possess.
So, back to my man, Kevin Durant. I've been telling you for 2 years, he is now the best player on the planet. But I'm going to give you one big asterisk. And that asterisk is when he decides to be.
Sure.
He doesn't always decide to be, because you know and I know, and I brought this up 1,000 times on television over the last 8 or 10 years, Kevin Durant always suffers an identity crisis. Who am I? Am I a nice guy or a not nice guy? Am I a tough guy from the mean streets of Seat Pleasant, Maryland? Or am I a Silicon Valley entrepreneur? Who am I? Because he's never quite sure who he is.
He's a confrontational guy.
Sometimes he's not.
In the media
I know
room.
he can be. I know. But here's the indictment of that game last night. Kevin Durant needed the media to motivate him. He needed the media to push all his buttons because I'm not sure Steve Kerr can. I'm not even sure Draymond Green can push all of his buttons. But the biggest red danger button gets pushed by somebody on social or real media, right?
Yeah.
And when that button gets pushed, you better look out because I'm going to reread that quote from Steve Kerr that we had yesterday.
Okay.
He said, this is after the 31-point collapse.
Yeah.
There's nobody who can do what Kevin Durant can do. He absolutely needs to be more aggressive. It's the playoffs, and he can get any shot he wants at any time. So I want to see him get 20 shots or 30 shots. He took 23 last night, and I give you, he was not hot-handed from three, but it didn't matter because he made his first 5 out of 5, and he made his first 2 free throws, and it was history.
It's over.
That's it. It's 41-24 after a quarter, and that was all she wrote for the Clippers in their first home playoff game last night.
Yes.
That's Kevin Durant, but I'm not sure who he is because I'm not sure he knows who he is. He went to Golden State because he said, I want to go where they share the ball. So actually, his strength became his weakness that the Clippers played upon, especially in Game 2, somewhat in Game 1, and that is they're going to force him, dare him to pass the basketball because he would like to consider himself as much a passer as a shooter, as a scorer. So what happened in Game 2? He had 9 turnovers because he was forcing passes all over the lot.
Okay? The thing is, Skip, when we talk about LeBron, they score about the same, but we say the difference between the two is LeBron's ability to pass the basketball. Well, KD's like, I can pass the basketball too.
And he can, but he can't pass it like LeBron.
No.
And he can't pass it if you dare him in a box-and-one situation to try to force passes to unopened people. That's what he was trying to do.
Right.
So he had 9 turnovers, and they had 21 and 22 in the first 2 games. They're going to be in trouble if they turn the ball over that, especially as it swirls around him. So the Clippers played to a weakness that should be a strength of his because the truth is, why did Draymond Green walk into the parking lot after Game 7 of 2016?
He knows what that guy represents.
He knows that they can't do it without this guy.
No way.
This guy is the Warriors. They're going to go as far as he carries them in the end, in the big picture. And what happened right on schedule in Game 3 and Game 3, the last 2 finals in the King's house in Cleveland, he happened. Right?
Yeah.
He was the MVP of the finals back-to-back years because he is the ultimate difference maker. He's going to decide this year's NBA championship, and then starting July 1st, he's going to decide next year's NBA championship.
Maybe for the foreseeable future.
For the foreseeable. That's who he is. That's why I think he's the best player on the planet because his strength of scoring is greater than LeBron's greatest strength. LeBron does more overall things. He's got more variety to his game. There's no doubt about that. But obviously, as LeBron gets a little older, I don't know how much older, but a little, we all agree he gets a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
Kevin is right in the heart of his prime. He says, I'm 30. But what did he say just a day ago? He says, I'm not going to get in the way of the game because I want to have a little back and forth with Patrick Beverley.
Right.
And what did I say yesterday? No, Kevin, it's not about getting in the way of the game. You are the game.
Right.
You're the game. So he's reminding everybody, I'm Kevin Durant. Well, maybe you should tell yourself you're Kevin Durant, okay? Just go. So what did we see last night? Okay, you're right. They positioned him differently, strategically. They had him at the top. They had him moving more.
Yes.
They picked for him more.
Yes.
I get that. But seriously, how many shots did he make? He made 14 shots. Yeah. I'll bet you 10 were just unscripted, where he just said, I'm going to do this. They were basically iso ball kind of shots where he just said, I'm better than you are.
Right.
I don't care who's trailing me or chasing me. I'm just going to shoot this. Fadeaways, it's over, man.
Yeah, but you're at his mercy. Once he makes his first 5 and he makes 2 free throws, he's seen the ball go in. So now you're at his mercy. You just hope he misses it because you can't block him. They let him get out in transition, and so he's finishing at the rim. Yep. He's out in transition. He's pulling up from 18 feet. Yep. You got no and then Patrick Beverley ended up getting in foul trouble. Alexander, yeah, he's long and lanky, but he can't bother him. He can't pester him like Patrick Beverly. He doesn't understand the game of defense like Patrick Beverly does. So once Patrick Beverly got in foul trouble, you're done.
Yeah. He just shot them psychologically off their own floor because then the Clippers starters proceed to go 2 of 17 from 3. And if Gallinari's going to go 0 for 8 and the rest are going to sort of follow along, they got no shot.
Zero.
They have to hit their shots, especially their three-point shots. And by the way, your man Big Zubats,
Yeah.
did you see what he did last night?
Goose egg, man.
No, he didn't.
No, he had 8 of 12.
No, he was great.
Yeah.
He was the only good one.
Zero.
He
I'm looking
had
at the first quarter.
18 and 15, and he had 9 offensive rebounds. And I hate to bring this up again.
Stop.
Magic Johnson traded him to the Clippers.
For some jelly beans.
For
'cause
some
we got
jelly beans.
We got Muscala.
One big jelly bean, right?
Yes.
He's a deadly three-point shooter, or so they say.
I
don't
can't
know.
tell.
You can't tell? I don't know.
Skip, but he got those numbers in 17 minutes.
17 minutes. That's huge.
Right.
That was the little big story, the quiet story for the Clippers. I think he's going to be a player. I thought he was a player for the Lakers.
I think so, too.
Right?
I agree with you.
Okay.
And especially in a game like this, Skip, because the game is so wide open and spread now, you're going to get opportunity to get rebounds. And he's skilled.
Yep.
He's a skilled big man, Skip. You can run plays for him.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to, but you can. He can play with his back to the basket. He's good from 6 to 10 feet out.
Wow.
But if Kevin Durant's going to do this, even Steph, had Steph not gotten foul trouble, Skip, this thing would have got ugly because Steph wasn't missing from 3. And then in the second quarter, Clay messed around and started getting it going.
No.
And so now you got, what do you do? You got Steph, Clay, and Draymond draining shots on you. It's so frustrating. I mean, Andrew Bogut, they missed the ball, miss a shot, Bogut gets it, passes it back out, they miss another one, he gets it again, passes it to Steph, and now he drains a 3. Do you know how frustrating, do you know how mental, like, man, what are we going to do with this? Because if they, listen, I believe Houston has the best chance, but if they play their best, no one else can get to that threshold, Skip. Nobody. Not Milwaukee, not Toronto, not Houston, not anyone, not Boston. They played their best.
Not even San Antonio. I just had to throw that in. Not even. Go ahead.
Even if you had Daniel Boone, David Bowie, and the Alamo. No.
Really?
No. It's over. Y'all, it's over for you guys, Skip.
Not David.
What do you
Bowie.
mean it's over?
They wish they had David Bowie.
Sam. It's over. Sam Bowie.
It's okay.
Oh, you want Sam Bowie?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to enjoy your little run. We're gonna talk about them a little later.
we're gonna
But
talk
that
about
guy
that
right
later.
there,
We'll get to that.
that 7-foot guy, when he makes it, he say, you know what? You see, you over here doing all this talking. I'm about to show you, Patrick Beverly. I'm gonna show you.
I think he showed us.
No, we already knew.
Yeah, it's always about the media. A lot of these analysts were saying that I should engage in. No, we didn't want you to engage with Patrick Beverly. We want you to engage with the game,
The game.
right? Just the game.
We want you to be KD.
Yeah, how about just be KD, whoever KD really is. He's always soul searching about.
But he
something.
say, you know, I'm Kevin Durant.
Yeah, are you?
You know me, right?
know
You
who
know.
I am.
All right. Well, are you? I don't know. Last night he
night.
was. I'm
Skip,
not
he's
sure.
special. I mean, look, plus in under 30 minutes, the dude is plus 32. Plus 32. That's what he is.
Well, I keep saying there's only one team that can stop Golden State, and it's Golden State. And there's only really one player who can stop Golden State, and it's Kevin Durant. And by the way, speaking of that, literally,
Yep.
he did unfortunately get his 3rd technical foul of the postseason.
That was
but
bull jive.
Bull jive.
They're going to rescind that.
Yeah.
Adam Silver, I already know they're going to rescind. Skip, they laughing. He and JaMychal Green are laughing up the court. JaMychal Green like, dude, you flopped. KD is like, man, you ran over me. I had the spot. Man, they're up there laughing, and dude comes in there like,
Yeah. The dude is Jason Phillips. He's 19 years in the NBA.
Wow.
He's reffed over 1,000 NBA games, 93 playoff games, 7 finals. And yet he's old school. He's an older guy, I should say. And he's from Weatherford, Texas, and I don't think he got that one.
No.
I think that one went right over his head.
It did.
So it's a bad look for the NBA that he called a technical foul because the audience is thinking that's just par for the course.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just the way it is.
Yes.
There's no animosity.
No.
There's no bad blood brewing there. They're not about to throw down on each other.
No.
So what are you trying to defuse exactly?
exactly. 'Cause they're laughing.
Yeah.
KD is laughing at you like, dude, you ran me over. Green is like, dude, you flopped.
Yeah.
That was, you
Okay.
flopped.
All right.
And dude, he comes in, boop,
So now that number 35 dude's got 3 techs, and you get 7, and then your history.
They're gonna rescind this one, so he'll be back down to 2.
Okay, I sure hope they do. So on to the bigger question of this: what happens next? Well, I dug in on this yesterday, and I'm going to dig back in. I'm going to take the Clippers in Game 4, and I'm going to take it for 1 case of Diet Dew because I got one to play with now.
You ain't got one to play with.
You handed me one last night, so thank you very much. So I'm going to just push it right back across the table and give it back to you.
I'm gonna get it.
Because I feel good because, as you mentioned, it is Easter weekend, so I'm in a really spirit.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
See, you know what? People say that all the time. When they go to Vegas and they win a little bit and they get up, they're like, oh, I can lose this. You know, I'm playing with house money. No, it's not. It's yours. That's your case to do. I gave it to you. You won it. So don't be talking about you got something to play with because you don't. I'm going to get it back, and that's the start of something beautiful. That's the beginning of more than one. Really? You think it's just one, but that one's going to lead to 2, which will lead to 4, which will lead to 10.
Well, it's just like my swimming pool up in Bel Air, it's filled with Diet Mountain Dew. In the deep end, it goes to 6 feet, and so if I give it back to you, it's going to go down to 5 feet, like 10 inches or so. But I can still swim in the deep end. Okay. I got so much to do.
Okay, you laughing? I mean, it's all funny game. I got him. Oh, Skip, you be taking Unc's Dew. Yeah. You probably got like 100 cases.
I don't call you Unc, but that's.
But when you know, I'm saying that's what they can say. I know it. Yeah. You up there? Yeah, I get him all the time. I know they stop you on the streets and you be over there bragging. But guess what?
They do actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you win any Diet Dew today, Skip? Yeah, 7 cases.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay.
We gonna see. By the end of fall, I get all that.
I'm giving you one back. Game 4, I'm taking the Clippers. I know it's just a stupid bet to make.
I might get another one.
Yeah.
I might get Game 4.
Really?
In San Antonio, I might do that. And might get 2.
Okay.
We'll see how we get when we get to that topic, which is coming up in just a little bit.
Exactly. We will talk about that.
Okay. I wish San Antonio was going to the state.
Seriously? I'm sorry, Shannon. You just got to win a little bit more.
I'm gonna win this one.
Because I can't help you any longer.
Okay.
When the Nuggets win in 7, that's the case.
Okay, we're going to move on to a different game. Are the Sixers actually better without Joel Embiid? We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. I'll be right back.
No mercy.
Things looked pretty dire for the Sixers last night when Joel Embiid was ruled out of Game 3 with a sore knee just minutes before tip. But Ben Simmons made sure there was nothing to worry about. He led the way with 31 points and 7 assists and made 11 of his 13 shots. This came after Dudley said Simmons was just average in the half court. But after the game, Simmons denied any extra motivation and said, any feud with Dudley? It's over with. Shannon, what did Ben Simmons show you last night?
Well, he showed me if you don't keep him out the paint, you're gonna have a Dickens trying to stop him, Skip. And they was lagging off him so bad because they don't respect his ability to shoot the ball outside. He doesn't want to shoot the ball outside. Well, they gave him a head of steam to come downhill at him. He is 6'10". If you stand in the lane and you let him get a head of steam, he's gonna either dunk on you or lay the ball over the top of you. Those are your 2 options. Skip, the dude was 11 of 13. 11 of 13. 11 of those shots came in the half-court set. Only 2 came in transition. He was 9-11 from the free throw line. Ben Simmons is a phenomenal talent. And I told you yesterday, Skip, I believe Jerry Dudley should have waited till after the series before he said what he said. Of course, guys go, Skip, you or I saying Ben Simmons is average ball player is one thing. A current NBA player saying that is something entirely different. Of course he's going to take that personal. Of course he's going to come in. And again, I'm going to say this. I believe once the Nets they saw Joel Embiid, because as great as Ben Simmons played, Joel Embiid is their best player. The tendency is when the best player goes out, you relax. No, you can't do that. And Ben Simmons took it upon himself to play downhill, to get everybody involved, and they played extremely well. But Ben, if you let him get in the paint at 6'10", you're in trouble. It's as simple as that because he still didn't shoot a shot outside. He didn't shoot a 10-foot jumper. He didn't shoot a 3. All of his points were in the lane, layups or dunks.
Okay. So, this topic is just like our opening topic of this show. I asked previously, why did it take the media to push Kevin Durant's button? Why did it take Jared Dudley to push this kid's button? This is only his second NBA season, so let's be a little patient. But I'm going to remind everybody, because I know Jared Dudley very well. He's been in this league for 12 years. He was, once upon a time, the ACC Player of the Year at Boston College, so he was no joke in college.
The basketball conference in America.
You can certainly make that case, for at least historically.
Yes.
And Jared Dudley has started 285 NBA games and played in 31 playoff games, so he's been around. He knows how the game is played off the floor.
Yes.
And you said he should have waited. I believe there was method to this madness, because Jared Dudley is mostly very PC with what he says.
Yes.
I think he decided that this kid is psychologically vulnerable, if not weak. Let's go for the throat, because we're going home for 2 games with it 1-1, and we've got them on the ropes and maybe on the run.
Okay.
So let's just go for it here, and let's put the pressure and the onus on him. Now, he didn't know Joel wasn't going to be able to play, obviously.
Sure. Right.
But we had Michael Rappaport on this show yesterday basically trying to incite a riot in Brooklyn yesterday. That was a hostile environment.
It was.
And I can't hear via TV everything that's being screamed at Ben Simmons, but you know and I know it got vicious.
Right.
Right?
Well, you saw the poster that
I
they put
saw
up.
the poster outside, the missing poster, and it was
Yes.
very clever. It was very clever, right?
Yes.
Contact Kendall Jenner if you've seen, right? Okay. So, but it was, you know what? It was deserved. It was warranted because he's asking for that.
Yeah.
But he got it right between the eyes, and then he gave it back
Yes.
last night. And the reason I was so highly impressed was that was hard what he did. He's hearing all kinds of taunt and ridicule from the first 3 rows. And remember, they went right up. Well, let's go to the end of the game. They went to hack a Ben at the end of the game because they don't respect him at all.
Right.
And they hacked him the first time, and he missed the first 2 free throws, which are the only 2 that he missed.
Right.
And then they hacked him again, and he made 2, and they hacked him again, and he made 2. And I don't like the way he shoots it because it's like sideways. He like turns his left hand this way, and yet he made 9 out of 11. And I believe he willed them in, like out of anger. And he tried to dismiss Jared Dudley at the shoot-around yesterday, like saying, come on, it's Jared Dudley. Well, no, the guy's legit.
Yeah.
He's been around.
He's an
know?
NBA player.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And by the way, Jared Dudley is a career 39% three-point shooter, so he kind of knows something about shooting the basketball.
And what do players, Skip, what do players say regardless of the sport? Players know.
They know.
So now all of a sudden.
So a 39% career three-point shooter was going after a kid who's 0 for 18 from 3 in his whole career. Ben Simmons has never even made 1 three-point shot in his career.
Right.
So we know, and he was a 60% free throw shooter this year. So he's kind of Lonzo-like from the line, right? So for him to step up in kind of I don't know if it's the turning point, but it was a turning point in the series in that game with no Joel Embiid and make 9 of 11. And then in the half court, not in transition, which was Jared's point, but in the half court, he just terrorized them, right?
Yeah.
They were playing slow, but I'm a big Joel Embiid fan. You are too.
Yes.
I'm saying he's the new beast of the East post LeBron. But last night, they looked like a different team without Joel Embiid because the ball was moving and people were moving and the lane was unclogged. There was no ISO ball with the big man.
Well, that's the thing, though, Skip, because he plays with his back to the basket the majority of the time. He needs to be close to the lane.
Yep.
That makes it very hard for Ben Simmons to do what he did last night because there's no traffic there. So now he's out of the game. You can space the floor, and because Skip, he's getting the ball. They're at the free throw line.
Yep.
They're not even up on him.
Yep.
And so now he takes one dribble, crosses over. He's in the lane.
Yep. And what does he do very well at the highest level? He can pass the basketball.
Yes.
He's got the gift, the passing gift. So he had 9 assists last night. And when he gets in the lane, he's causing problems because even Greg Monroe can stand under the basket wide open and dunk it, right?
Exactly.
And Tobias Harris got some bunnies from him on just because everybody's trying to keep Ben Simmons from the rim.
And plus, Tobias got hot.
He did.
So
he got hot from outside.
outside. He didn't miss a 3. No. So now he gives you 29 and 16, Skip.
Yeah.
And then J.J. Redick gives you 26. So if you're going to go 11 for 15, that team's whoever you play, if you have 2 players go 11 or 15 from the three-point line, the other team's losing.
Okay. So I am not for 1 second trying to say they're better without Joel Embiid because they're just not.
No,
it's like Kyrie in Boston. They're better without. No, they're not. They're just not. I'm sorry.
Don't fool yourself.
But I thought last night was also great for Joel to be forced to have to sit there in the front row, so to speak, on the bench and watch this unfold, and maybe it made him sit back and think,
Man, they won a playoff game without me.
Wow. Oh, maybe I should take this a little more seriously, right?
Skip, it's not very many playoff teams, especially playing, that now he's going to come back and play, that you can win a game without your best player. I don't believe Toronto's beating Orlando without Kawhi.
That's a good point, though.
No, I don't believe that. So it's not.
I'm not sure they're going to beat him with.
Oh, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. See, I know you tried to short you. Don't do that. That's so unbecoming to you. I can't even believe you would do that.
Well,
but let me tell you what it does, though, Skip.
Maybe I'm rooting for it.
I know that's what you're rooting for. It does something to your ego. It does something to your memory to know that your team can win without you. In this moment, a regular season game, Skip, that's it. That's one thing. But we put value, regardless of the sport, on playoff victories. And they got a playoff win against a team, a good team. Now, I'm not saying that, they 86 Celtics, but they're a good team, and they won a game without you. But if Ben Simmons is going to play with this edge, because, he had an edge, but he wasn't out of control. And you going to let him come downhill? You're going to let him play downhill, and you're going to let him finish at the rim with a dunk or a layup, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah. And by the way, when he said in the shoot-around, come on, it's just Jared Dudley. Didn't look like it was just Jared Dudley when they were out on the court together, because when Jared did airball a three, he's doing this like, see, I told you.
And what about them dunks he got? He mean mugging to the crowd. He look at him like, what?
And he was scoffing, giving side-eye to Jared Dudley a couple times, right? So I think it got him.
You can't all of a sudden, the players don't ask the players. Okay, we ask a player. Well, we didn't ask him. He volunteered the information, Skip. So he said this, but now you're going to discount him. You can discount us. Oh, what does he know? He didn't play. He never dribbled a basketball in the NBA, yada, yada, yada. Jared Dudley have. Jared Dudley be in film study, and this is what he said. So don't be mad at me, be mad at him.
He
took it out on him.
He's been on like 12 teams, but that's a whole nother issue. That's like a good thing in what we're talking about, because he's been around.
Because they see value in him.
They do, because he's 3 and D. He can do both. So Greg Popovich had a great quote once upon a time. He said, you must play in big playoff games with the appropriate fear. Like appropriate fear, meaning you play scared but good scared, right? Last night, Philly played good scared with appropriate fear. They played with, I think, an urgent desperation, because they knew they were up against it at Barclays Center, right?
And they withstood an early run by the Nets, because the Nets got out good.
They got out
And I think they knew, Skip, you can't afford to go down 2-1 with another game in this building. So now they've wrestled home court back away from the Nets, and it gave Embiid an opportunity to rest, because you don't want to put him. You need to try to end this series as quick as you can to get Joel Embiid, because the further you go, he can't be missing games in the second round, Skip. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, he definitely can't miss a game.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's his call. I mean, I just think he's hurt.
I believe so. That's what I'm saying. He needs as much rest as he can, because, Skip, you're not winning without him. You can start the further you advance, you're not winning without your best player.
Yeah. I hear you. So here's what we saw from Ben Simmons last night. 11 of 13 shots, 9 of 11 free throws, 9 assists, and 3 block shots. That's big time.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to ask this again. Where has that been, so to speak, before? Ben, where has that been?
Right.
Why did it take Jared Dudley to get that out of you? Why did it take Barclays on the road to get that out of you? Why can't you do that on a pretty much a nightly basis? Why don't you play with that kind of urgency or edge, as you call it, every night?
Well, that's what the greats do.
Because that's what the greats do. LeBron always plays the way, I mean, it's different lately, but through his prime, he played every game. He just brought it. He was going to be LeBron. Kobe was always going to have Mamba mentality, and trust me, the real 23 up in Chicago, every night, it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter.
Real 23
just came. No, the real 23s in
Now
Chicago.
stop doing that.
Well, come on. We're about to talk about the
don't do that, Skip.
phony
We're
goat.
about to.
Skip, that is so unbecoming of you.
No, it's not. It's so becoming of me because you hope that LeBron becomes that, and he just won't.
That.
But
What you mean become?
The point is, the point is, Ben Simmons can become something really special. Like he can become an all-time great, but how did that feel? Can he carry that feeling into Game 4? Because this ain't over unless do they think it's over? You're offended by what?
Because you talk about he thinks he can become that.
Yeah.
LeBron is already a butterfly. Why does he hope he can become a caterpillar? He's already been that.
A butterfly.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you butterfly. He plays like a butterfly
No, Skip.
sometimes.
Plays
that soft.
What I'm saying, he's already gone this metamorphosis.
I like
okay.
that.
He's already gone there. You talk about a butterfly don't fly around talking about, oh, I wish I could be a caterpillar. He like been there, done that. Hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
He was a caterpillar? Jordan was never a
Yes,
caterpillar.
he was.
He never had that.
Yes, he
moment.
was. Don't do that,
Skipped right
Skip.
ahead.
You know what? He was born a lion.
No,
He was a lion cub.
no.
Yeah, he came right out of the
That
womb.
analogy
He was
better.
a lion cub.
No.
And then he became king
But
of
old
the
Ray,
jungle,
now
and then
you-
it was over.
No mercy.
Here's the thing, we do talk about LeBron a lot on this show, and there is one conversation that always seems to go back to a certain moment in the 2013 finals where Skip credits Ray Allen for saving LeBron's legacy with his game-tying 3 in Game 6. Ray was asked about this shot yesterday and said it was, quote, foolish to think it saved LeBron because every title team benefits from contributions from various players. LeBron, of course, missed his three-point attempt for the tie before Allen kept Miami alive long enough to eventually give LeBron his second career title. Shannon, are you surprised Ray said this?
No, because he spoke the truth. You know what I like? I like confirmation. Because I recently got email. And you know when you book a flight, you know, I go to Atlanta back and forth, you know, I fly Delta. And I love when it says confirmation, which means I am confirmed on this flight. Skip, when I book a hotel, 5-star, of course, you are confirmed, which means I have a room upon my arrival. In other words, what Ray Allen just did for me is awful confirmation of what I've been saying since it happened. No, I love old Ray. You see, Skip?
You should love old Ray because he saved your bacon.
No, don't do that, Skip. That's so unbecoming of you. No one wants to talk that when they entered the fourth quarter, the Miami Heat were down 10 points. LeBron James scored 16. He had 2 assists on 3, so he accounted for the 22 of the 30 points they scored in the fourth quarter. That was LeBron James. To give that context, Skip, you remember Game 6 of the Golden State, the year they went 73-9, and Klay Thompson was bonkers. He went bonkers, had 11 threes. He accounted for 19 points in the fourth quarter. For context, LeBron James were responsible for 22 of the 30, and no one ever mentions that Klay Thompson saved Steph Curry's bacon. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to get that. I just wanted to throw that out there for context.
Why do you always have to change the subject?
No, I'm not changing, but I like context. We like context. But why do you do that, Skip? No one mentions that LeBron James had a triple-double in that game. Did you know that, Skip? Did you know LeBron James had 32, 11, and 10 in that game in which Ray Allen saved his bacon? Ray Allen said something. We didn't get to the highlights of what Ray was saying. He said, but Mike Miller had a big 3, too. Mike Miller hit a 3 with no shoe. And the play before that, LeBron James came down and launched a 3. He says, without LeBron, we're not even that close. We're not even there. You see, Ray Allen just confirmed what I said all along. In a team sport, you need teammates. And LeBron James is the only one not allowed to have teammates. Because you see, no one ever says Adam Vinatieri saved Tom Brady's bacon, even though he kicked game-winning Super Bowl.
Tom Brady set it up every time he set it up. It's not like he threw an interception and then Adam Vinatieri said, oh, well, I'll kick an 80-yard field goal and we'll win the game.
What about LeBron setting it up by scoring 16 points? Did he set that up? Nobody.
When it's my turn.
Oh, it's not your turn just yet. I will turn it. I will give me like 30 more seconds. No one ever says Steve Kerr and John Paxson saved Michael Jordan, but they hit shots. Skip, that's what teammates do. And now I would say if Ray had 35 and a triple-double and LeBron only had 1 3-pointer, 6 points in that game, I would say, Skip, you're absolutely right. But that wasn't the
Quick
case.
point of order.
Yes.
What would have happened if Steve Kerr and John Paxson missed those shots? What would have happened? What would have been the ultimate outcome of those series?
We'd have never known.
Michael Jordan would have won both of them.
We don't know.
It
we
didn't
don't
matter.
know.
It wasn't do or die. It wasn't game over.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I know.
No, we don't.
I know.
No, we don't. No, we don't, Skip. No. I know you love to have to say he was 6-0, and had he not been forced to retire, he'd have been 8-0.
Well, he would have been, and he never even got to a Game 7 because he didn't need a Game 7.
No, we don't know that, Skip.
6 straight MVPs in the finals. That's impossible.
That wasn't straight. Elijah
I think it's about my turn here.
Yeah, I think we're good. You got your confirmation, Shannon?
Yes,
You
my
moved on?
confirmation is good.
Skip, what do you make of it?
This is laughably, sadly absurd. This is Ray Allen saying what he had to say. Do you think Ray Allen's going to sit for a TV interview with Sports Illustrated and say, yeah, I saved LeBron's legacy? He's not going to say that. I've been around Ray. He's a really good guy, a nice guy, played for 20 years. He knows how to play the game off the field.
Is he lying?
You cannot take credit for saving somebody's bacon.
Yes, you can.
You just cannot. Well, he won't. He won't. He is class, pure class. I would love to hear what Ray says off camera about that shot.
That's exactly what he said right now.
I don't think so at all. So let's go back to what really happened, because the game really didn't start until about 3 minutes left. Though I must go back to the 5-minute mark when LeBron did miss a free throw that could have put them up 4, and you never know how that would play out. But let's start at the 3-minute mark, shall we? Mm-hmm. In the last 3 minutes, LeBron James had 3 turnovers. Think about that. This is this is season saver here. If you lose this game, it's over, and my team wins yet another championship as it becomes the dynasty. And yet, with 3:18 left exactly, LeBron had an offensive foul, a charge that costs you a turnover. Then we all the way to the 39-second mark, LeBron just dribbled into a turnover, and the guy who's up in Toronto now got the ball. He got credited with the steal. But LeBron, I just remember it like it was last night, because it feels like last night. He just dribbled right into that guy, and the ball gets loose, and there we go. And by the way, that guy got fouled immediately at 39 seconds left. That number 2 up in Toronto. He goes to the line, and he missed the first free throw. And if he'd made that, that would have put my team up 6 with 39 seconds left. And all of a sudden, that's a 2-score game. Woo! I just don't know. Could we have hung on with the 6-point lead?
because you couldn't hang on when you're up by 3 with like 10 seconds to go.
Well,
so you probably wasn't going to hang on with that.
So now we get to the 28.2-second mark. So just 10 seconds later, LeBron dribbles right into Ginobili and just loses the ball. And even I don't root for LeBron James unless I somehow bet on his team, but in this case, I'm saying, you can ask Ernestine, I'm saying, what are you doing? What, like he just come completely undone.
What are you doing? But I'm glad you did it. What are you doing? But I'm glad you did it.
So I also neglected to mention at the 4:01 mark, LeBron missed a 17-foot jumper, and now we go all the way to 23 seconds left in the game. He missed a 3-point shot, LeBricked it. And the reason Danny Green is now a Raptor occurred right here, because he never quite got out of Greg Popovich's doghouse for what he did next.
What did he do?
For some reason, Danny Green, who's got a little bit of Moon Man in him occasionally, where you just say, Danny, are you with us or not? He takes off running like he's going to cherry pick a layup to seal the game. He's going to try to snowbird it. And he did not block out one Mike Miller, who retrieved a long LeBrick rebound, just like the last one was, and he just gives it right back to LeBron, who's just all alone at the three-point line, and I give him credit. He made it.
Bang!
He made it. And that cut the lead to 2, I believe. Yes, I believe that cut the lead to 2. So now it comes, other things transpire, but we go to the 7.9-second mark, and LeBron LeBricks the 3 to tie, and as soon as it hit the back,
he missed it. Why you got to say LeBrick? So so anybody that misses a 3 moving forward, it's a brick.
Nobody has longer LeBrick rebounds than LeBron James. Nobody, because they clang so badly that they just boing.
Okay, what about Westbrook?
Huh? Well, we're talking about LeBron. Come on, what are we? We're not talking about Westbrook.
Because I want you to stop this notion that when LeBron misses, it's a brick.
Well, they were such long rebounds. They're going out to the 3-point line. So what happens? Tim Duncan is not in the game. Don't ask me why. They wanted to guard the 3-point line.
So Greg Popovich saved his legacy then, right?
Well, you could argue that guy up in Toronto is the first guy who saved it. That's his legacy. He saved LeBron.
Go ahead. Go. I want to let you make your point. I want to let you make your point.
So, obviously, Chris Bosh is allowed to roam free. Ginobili tries to contest him for the rebound, but Ginobili's only 6'6", and he can't leap with Chris Bosh. Bosh very deftly just flicks it right to the corner, and and Tony Parker, if you look at the video, is all over him in the corner and does a great job of not fouling him. He got up into him as close as he could get without fouling. Yeah. So you can't guard it any better. And this is the greatest clutch shot in NBA history.
It is.
That was it right there.
Yeah.
And as soon as that hit nothing but bottom of net, I just fell on the.
You slid down. You slid down.
I just. It was devastating. It was dumbfounding because I didn't see it coming. As soon as the ball hit the back iron from LeBron, I'm thinking, we got this. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm about the championship.
Too.
They had circled the whole. They put up the cordons.
Yeah.
What's the rope called?
Yep.
The felt, whatever it is,
Yep.
right? And,
the VIP.
Yeah, VIP. They're about to have. They're about to present the championship trophy to the San Antonio Spurs, and he did that.
Yep.
And you could just see, as Greg Popovich has said, my team just couldn't get up off.
Well, no,
off
why?
The floor.
Hold on, wait a minute. A team that's coached by Greg Popovich, one of the 3 or 4 best coaches in the history of the NBA, with Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward to ever breathe, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker.
You just admitted it was the greatest clutch shot in NBA history. It's hard to recover from that.
No.
Especially if you're not at home. You're on their court. And the momentum shifted wildly.
Hey, Jenny, if you don't mind me asking, Skip, maybe you can help me out because my memory fogs me. I mean, sometimes my memory comes and goes. Can you tell me where game 1 of the NBA Finals were last year? Was it in Cleveland or was it in Golden State?
It was at Golden State.
And so, in other words, when J.R. Smith had that snafu and LeBron James, like, J.R., what were you doing? And they went to overtime. Isn't that the same thing?
At the end of that game, LeBron James had been as hot as I have ever seen him from distance. He had the ball in his hand and got the switch he wanted with little tiny Steph Curry. It's like Patrick Beverly on Kevin Durant. And he can rise up over Steph Curry and shoot basically a free throw line jump shot, and he turns it down in favor of passing to George Hill. And
look at George Hill, can't miss a shot now in Milwaukee. You see that? He can't miss a 3.
Okay. Well, you can't put the ball in George Hill's hands. He's not that guy. It's why the Spurs gave up on him.
I noticed you said Kawhi missed a free throw, and if he hadn't missed that free throw, he'd have put him up by 6. Can you tell the people who missed the free throw before Kawhi did?
That was well before.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was on a minute left in the ball game. Can you tell the people at home because they were asleep. It was because that game was late. Jenny went late until the wee hours of the morning.
Yep.
Can you tell the people at home who missed the free throw before Kawhi missed his?
Manu Ginobili missed 1 of 2.
And Kawhi missed what? 1 of 2.
But it was the one.
Don't do
because
that.
Because the magnitude had risen. You know and I know that was the free throw.
No, Skip, don't do that.
And by the way, would you believe that guy had shot 83% from the free throw line during the regular season? 83%. Yeah.
Yeah, and Skip.
Number 2.
And what people don't talk about, did you know of a possible 53 minutes in a overtime ball game? LeBron James played 50 and gave you a trip dub.
I guess he was just running out of gas at the end of the game. All those turnovers and missed shots.
And what happened in overtime? Did he run out of gas? And then what happened in Game 7? Tell the people at home what happened in Game 7. That virtuoso.
My team didn't show up.
What you mean they didn't show up? They had the lead.
Yeah, they didn't show up.
Had the lead late in the ball game.
They ran out of
and LeBron says no.
Gas.
LeBron says no way.
He played great in Game 7. I get you, but he knew he was front running in Game 7.
Don't do that. Skip that.
By the way, I just noticed this on the video of the Ray Allen shot.
What?
LeBron's out at the top of the circle doing this.
Yeah, give me a rock.
I'm open.
Give me another shot crack at it.
And
I just wish that Bosh had passed it to LeBron.
I do too.
I just wish.
Ooh, no.
I just wish.
Skip, no, you
Because
don't.
I'd have another championship.
No, you don't. Because he'd have drained that one, and you'd have that was the lucky because there was no because you're going to see.
Open.
Yeah.
He was open.
No time, but
Hey,
open.
But
throw it to the phony goat. Throw it. I'm open. The phony goat's open.
What about the one that Mike Miller chased down and he passed it back to LeBron? And what did LeBron do with that one?
He made that one.
Oh,
there was no real heat on that.
You see what I'm saying? That's what you was going to say on this one.
Do or die. Or, as we call it on this show, D-E-W, or die, right? It's do or die.
Hey, guess
as
what?
in Mountain Dew.
Going into
Right?
the fourth, going
do
into the
or die, Shannon.
I'm trying to
You
think-
usually die.
No, the last time a team went into the fourth quarter down by 10. Whoo! Ooh.
Yeah,
and LeBron says, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, but you got up. If LeBron makes
stood
that
up.
free throw with 5:28 left, you're up 4. That's cruising. You should have cruised on him if he's the closer, but we know he's not.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he will. He closed that one.
He opens doors.
Triple dub in game. He had a triple dub in game 6 and then a virtuoso in game 7, 37. That's why he has the highest scoring average in game 7 in NBA history.
So anybody who knows basketball would say Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy because without that shot, it just comes down to that moment, that shot. Without that shot, LeBron James is 2-7 in NBA
okay,
Finals.
what about the
2-7
What about the
bad.
So did Malcolm Butler save Tom Brady's legacy?
No, because he's got 6.
No, he wouldn't have 6. So we're going to take the Malcolm Butler pick away, and we're going to take those 2 field goals by Adam Vinatieri.
But
so now he's 3-6.
No.
Now he's 3-6.
He set up the field goals. Did he choke?
Yeah. No.
Did he commit turnovers like LeBron did? Did he miss a last-second shot? No, he didn't.
Stop.
I mean, Tom Brady played great in all the Vinatieri games. He didn't play great. He played all-time great.
So LeBron James didn't play great in
He
this ball
was
game.
flawless in all 3. How many Vinatieri games were there? 2. 2. Yeah.
Oh, he was
and
flawless.
There was the tuck rule.
He was flawless. He was flawless in that first Super Bowl against the Rams.
In the fourth quarter, he wasn't that dry.
They played 4 quarters.
Go back and look at it.
So
Go back and look at the drive.
You see what you
Remember,
did?
John Madden's up there saying, take the ball out of the kids' hands. Just shut it down and play for overtime.
You see what you did?
Completion, field goal.
You know what's
Wow.
This is where you and I separate.
Tom Brady.
You and I, we walking down the road, but this is where you go left and I go right. Because every time that Tom Brady it's a moment. Tom Brady did this in a moment. You never say LeBron did anything in a moment unless he has 15 points in the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. LeBron cannot have a moment, cannot have a 2 or 3 minute series where he goes bonkers, but look at the turnovers that he had. He missed 2 free throws.
You know, the truth is, you go left and I always go right.
No,
that's
wrong.
the point. I always go right.
No, I make a left and another left and come right back to the right answer.
I'm ashamed that I'm having to defend Tom Brady in the same sentence with LeBron James because Tom Brady has 6 rings on 6 game-winning drives. That's impossibly, that's Jordan-esque.
Let me ask you a question.
That's beyond Jordan-esque.
Had he only been to 6?
No, he's been to 9.
Okay, so what happened to those other 3?
Well, with
To
2.
Eli?
Yeah, with
How
2.
you lose to Eli?
Wait a second. He had a game-winning drive with 2 minutes left against Eli.
No.
Touchdown to Randy Moss. It was a game-winning drive.
No, you can't have a game-winning drive if you lose.
Yeah.
He had a game-losing drive Eli.
Does he play defense?
Oh, you didn't say that about Malcolm Butler. Did he intercept that ball from Russell Wilson?
Do you realize Tom Brady against the Legion of Boom in the fourth quarter threw for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns just in the fourth quarter? So he had done everything he could do to get them to that point.
Earl Thomas had a torn labrum. Cam Chancellor had a torn meniscus. Richard Sherman had a torn elbow ligament. They had lost their top 2 corners, one with a broken leg and one with an ACL.
And Shannon Sharpe always tells me, if you step on that field, you have no injury.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip. Oh, my
You do
goodness.
say that
Yes,
a lot.
Oh, my goodness.
You have no excuse.
Did they not have those ligament
I have
injuries?
no idea. They
You
look
do
fine
that.
to me.
Skip, you know every one of those guys had surgeries.
They're getting lit up by little Edelman and little Amendola.
Skip,
The truth is they were getting lit up by 12.
You know they had
by
surgery.
12.
But that's not the here nor there. Ray
It
has
is
spoken.
not.
The man that was in the arena has spoken. I did not save LeBron James' legacy.
Oh,
There's your
please.
confirmation.
Hey, do you want me to get Bob Mueller? I can put Bob
No,
Mueller
we're
on it.
good. We're good.
So Bob Mueller do a thorough investigation.
We're great.
You want that?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. As much as I enjoyed that trip down memory lane, there is a new star in the NBA, and he plays for Skip's Spurs.
No,
We'll
what?
discuss that guy now.
A star.
No mercy. The Spurs beat the Nuggets last night to take a 2-1 series lead. Skip has been talking about Derrick White all season. He was the story of the night. He had a career-high 36 points along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists and 3 steals. After the game, Nuggets head coach Michael Malone said, quote, Derrick White came out like he hadn't eaten in 2 days. He came out hungry. He came out pissed off. So, Shannon, is Derrick White now a star?
Hell no.
What?
This is an anomaly game.
Watch your language.
You know it.
When you talk about the San Antonio
You know what,
Spurs.
Skip, better? You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself,
Jenny
Skip.
has to watch her language. She just said P.O. on TV, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
Pissed
No.
off.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well,
Mary Taft's not going to be happy
You're
about it.
watching.
But
I'll
she
hear
was
about
reading. You were just saying.
I would read it too.
Yeah.
Quotes.
I'm looking at it. No, hell no. Skip, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Skip, he's having a good series. He had a phenomenal game. But here's a guy that averaged 10 points and 4 assists in the regular season. He's playing along 2 All-Stars. Now, DeMar DeRozan is 25, 8, and 4 in this series. LaMarcus Aldridge is 19 and 9. Now, okay, he had 10 points last night, but in the previous 2 games, he had 2 points in the fourth quarter. And that's going to be a star. Oh, no. I'm not going to let you have no one game and call yourself a star because the other 2, you've been on the cliffs. Couldn't see you. So you know what, Skip?
Really?
Yes.
I saw a whole.
You ain't see a whole bunch of nothing. Now, look, I know you like Derrick White.
I don't like it. I'm just saying what I see. I just say what I see.
What I see is a good player having an unbelievable ball game last night.
Okay.
But to say he's a star, I would be disingenuous. And the one thing we know I'm not is disingenuous.
Well, I'm going to be ingenuous because I'm going to be ingenious because I told you 2 months ago these words came right out of my mouth sitting right here in this chair. Derrick White is becoming a star. I said it right here. It was at least 2 months ago. And what happened shortly after that? Kevin Pelton, for whom I have great respect, the ESPN basketball analyst, picked Derrick White first team all defense at point guard. First team all defense. And I told you there was one game in Atlanta, he blocked 5 of Trae Young's shots and had 6 blocks for the game because, as DeMar DeRozan says, he has sneaky lift.
He does.
And it wasn't sneaky in game 1 at Denver because he went right into Millsap's face. I don't know if we have that.
He flushed, though. Yeah, he got it.
Flushed.
He got it.
He got it. Last night.
He got it.
Yeah, watch this. Boom! Boom! I don't even know if it's sneaky lift. I think it's just lift.
But he had never done that before, so they didn't expect him to do it. They'd never seen him do this. Because when he going down, I didn't think he was going to do this. And I'm like, what you do? You ain't finna. Dunk.
So guess what? The San Antonio Spurs, for the first time in their long and storied history, have somebody who can actually dunk. Because they were no Dunkin' for a long time. They might have been Dunkin' Donuts, but they weren't dunking basketballs. Am I right about that?
Tim Duncan can dunk.
So what did I tell you before the playoffs started? I said the San Antonio Spurs now go as Derrick White goes.
Whatever.
And that's a shocking statement because he was the 29th overall pick in the draft. And guess what? The best general manager in all of basketball has struck again. You get that kid with the 29th overall pick because he languished in D2 basketball for 3 years, and then he only played 1 year of D1 basketball at Colorado, and you stole him with the 29th pick. And what happened last year? Here's what you're not getting through your head. It can be a little thick every once in a while, but you realize Derrick White mostly played in the G League last year.
Yes.
This is really his first NBA season. He got in parts of 17 late season games last year for 8 minutes at a time. That's what he averaged. So this is really his rookie year. Would you believe that he was inactive for the first 9 games of this season? That's how little regard they had for him, even after they lost their starting point guard, DeJounte Murray, before the year started with a terrible knee injury. So what happened? On December 19th, which is still, it's pretty deep into the season, he started to start. And once he started to start on December 31st, he had 22 and a big home win over Boston. Then he had 19 and a big home win over that number 2's team visiting from Toronto. And here we went. 19 against Memphis, 23 against Oklahoma City, 26 against the Nets. And the point is, they don't feature him at all. So what did I tell you after game 2?
But I tell you something.
Okay, I sat right here in this chair on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
After they lost game 2, after they had 2 19-point leads. The reason they stopped the bleeding the first time they were losing the 19-point lead was Derrick White. He is their clutch player. He is their closer. He is the guts of this team. And then what happened in the fourth quarter is they blew another 19-point lead. Guess how many shots Derrick White got in the fourth quarter of game 2? How about 1? 1 shot, and I was just out of my mind sitting here. I know you don't watch them because they're like broccoli to you, but guess what? This kid's got sweet potato in his game. I'm talking about sweet potato. Yes, he does. And they're going to go as he goes because here's my point. I like DeMar DeRozan. I like him, but he still has Raptor in him.
All-star.
Raptor.
All-star DeMar DeRozan.
What used to happen in Toronto right on schedule this time of year?
Is it happening now?
Yeah. We'll see. He
Yeah.
might. It
Okay,
just
what
might.
about LaMarcus?
Wait a second. I'm not finished.
Okay.
He's got Raptor in him, and you can't always trust the Raptor in him. LaMarcus Aldridge still has some trailblazer
Man, that man
in him.
he been in San Antonio for 3 years. You need to stop.
You don't watch like
Still in
I
the
watch.
system?
He's 4 years.
You know?
No.
And when push comes to shove, you can't really trust that blazer in it. It's somewhere deep down in there, and it got in his DNA.
Okay, what about game 1?
Yeah.
When LaMarcus was cooking everybody.
He cooks a lot of games, and then there are a lot of games when he doesn't cook. Trust me on this.
You know what, Skip?
Somebody has to be the guts of this team. How about like Rudy Gay? Does he have any spur in him? Nope, sorry. I don't know.
He's
Stop
a
it.
sojourner.
Stop
I
it.
mean, he
He
done
is-
been all
he's-
over
he's
the
a
place.
sojourner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's-
So it's hard to have. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been Toronto, he's been Sacramento, he's been a lot of different places.
This kid is a spur. This kid's got a little Tony Parker and a little Ginobili in him. And once upon a time, Tony Parker led this league in points in the paint one year. How did he do that? With lightning, quicker than the eye quickness, just getting to the rim before.
Yeah,
This kid gets to the rim a different way. He's got sneaky lift. He just gets in the lane, and all of a sudden, he just dunked that.
Yeah.
Or he just got that up. How did he get that up under Jokic? How did he do that?
He did.
Right?
He flushed one last night with 2 hands. He threw it to the. I'm like, he got bounced like that?
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, you're not
I'm
used to
telling
seeing
you,
Spurs with
come-
bounce. But Skip, we need to stop now. The guy, he's having a phenomenal. He had a phenomenal game.
It's hard to put up, star numbers when you're a San Antonio Spur. They just don't play that way. But he does.
But you know who the stars are.
Yeah.
Duncan, Robinson, Kawhi. Kawhi was a superstar. Duncan, superstar. Robinson, superstar.
Derrick White on his way. I
No,
told
on
you
his
he's
way to do what?
becoming a star. What did you see
He on
last
his way to
night?
get breakfast or something. He
What
ain't
did
on
you
his way to
see?
get no super. Okay, let me ask you another question then, since he's going to be a superstar.
I didn't say superstar. I said he's becoming a star.
Is he going
And
to
that's a big
make an
deal.
all-star team?
He might. If Kevin Pelton makes him first team all defense at point guard, that's huge.
So in other words, he's going to have to beat out James Harden, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Russell Westbrook. That would be no Harden, no Steph, no Dame, no Russ, no Clay.
Okay.
I'm thinking no.
He's in his rookie year.
Okay, what
Watch
about
what starts happening. He's 6'4". He's not 6 feet. He's 6'4".
Darren Fox.
Yeah. Who's the best defender of all those guys you just wrote down? Help me out. Who's the best defender of all those
Patrick
guys?
Beverly.
Who's the best
Yeah.
defender?
Oh, so you're putting Patrick Beverly on your all-star list?
No.
That's how desperate you just got?
He's
Really?
the best defender at the point guard position.
He's 6'1". This is 6'4".
He can't D up like Pat Beverly.
Do you have any idea what Derrick White did to Jamal Murray last night?
Yeah.
He just said, watch this, because they were sending Jokic out and picking him in the fourth quarter the other night, and Jamal Murray got hot-handed, and he can get hot-handed.
Cooked him.
Yeah, and so what did Mike Malone, Jenny read the quotes.
What did he do?
But
Oh, yeah.
after the game, he called out Jamal Murray because he said, look, this kid, Derrick White, came out to play this game like he hadn't eaten for 2 days because he'd had to hear the very Shannon Sharpe saying, he got cooked. Well,
he did.
He cooked a little basketball food last night, a little sweet potato that he had. And he said, watch this. And as Popovich said after the game, he dominated on both ends. And Jamal Murray did get, if we could see what happened in the fourth quarter, my man Jakob Poeltl, who did another number on Jokic last night. He did another number. But Poeltl had a little, maybe a quasi-trip of Jamal Murray. It's just a little, he extended his foot a little bit out there.
Oh, yeah, that's a flagrant.
Yeah. And here we go. Here we go. Up.
Oh, that was a knee, Skip. Oh, I got to get him.
He got him
I
good.
got to get him.
He got him good.
Oh,
so
look at yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
here
Murray.
I go. I'm going to go back, and you're going to hear, whoa.
That's all you-
Technical foul on Jamal Murray.
Woo.
So
Knee.
See, I'd have slapped the taste out of his mouth.
he wanted to.
No, Skip, that was dirty. So y'all dirty. Y'all play dirty pool now?
I thought it was borderline dirty.
Oh, you
But
thought it
know
was
what?
borderline, huh?
You know what? I respect Denver because they are a mentally, physically tough basketball team that dominated physically in game 2. In this game, my team took the physicality to them. And again, that was just a little microcosm of the physicality. And so I thought Jamal Murray would come out firing after that because there was time for them to get back in the game. In fact, I turned to Ernestine and I said, look out, the storm is coming.
Yeah.
It's that kid.
My glass is a little foggy.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering when I'm going to see Will Barton. Anybody seen him? Has anybody seen Barton?
Does anybody care except Shannon Sharpe?
Don't do this, Skip. Don't worry.
Does
Okay.
anybody
He got
care?
something for y'all.
You know
I want
what?
a case.
Really?
I want a case.
Case on what?
I want a case on the game.
No, on the series.
No, I want a case. We already got a
case.
case on the game, on the series.
Do we? I don't remember.
You said 6. You said Spurs going to win in 6.
You make silly bets every day. I lose track of them. I can't.
Winning.
You said Spurs are winning in 6. I said the Nuggets.
I said 7, actually.
I got the Nuggets in 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We already got.
Well, whatever. I just got the Spurs.
I want something on game 4. Since y'all,
I don't bet game to game.
Tomorrow in San Antonio.
You know what? I
do
told you it's going 7 games. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Denver wins game 4.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't be at all surprised.
How you guys going to go 7 games when y'all got 3 stars?
Do you realize Denver is the 2 seed here? You realize they have the best home
they
record
only
in
got-
basketball?
They only got 1 star, though.
Yeah.
Y'all got 3.
Huh? Oh, they're loaded with athletic. All I hear is they're more athletic than the Spurs. Derrick White might have a different
I am
idea.
rooting for this kid,
Yeah.
Skip. I'm with you. I
Yep.
love the fact that he's a local from Denver.
He's from Denver.
Under-recruited.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
D2 works. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Paul
He's
Millsap
playing
needs
like
more.
it.
I tell you what, Paul Millsap needs more than 1 rebound. That's what needs to happen.
Well, Isaiah Thomas kept saying last night, they just don't have a matchup for Paul Millsap. Well, I don't know.
I can't
Maybe
tell.
they do. Maybe they do.
14-1. They got a matchup.
We're going to move to a star that we know very well. Did Kevin Durant prove he is the best player on the planet last night?
That was a
We'll discuss
given.
that. Chris Broussard next.
No mercy.
Kevin Durant led the Warriors to an easy Game 3 win over the Clippers last night. KD responded to Steve Kerr's challenge to be more aggressive, leading the Warriors with 38 points. This was after Durant only shot the ball 8 times during the Game 2 collapse. Durant certainly appeared to be motivated by something, but after the game, he continued to insist there was no extra fuel to his fire. Take a listen.
I've been in for 12 years and I'm 30. I don't need to show nobody nothing at this point. I think a lot of people who watch the game, who analyze the game, thought that I should be engaging in a one-on-one physical battle, whatever that is, to other people with Patrick Beverley, and I don't do that type of stuff. I just play. So that's what I was trying to let people know.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Good to have you.
Great to
so,
be here.
what did KD show you last night?
He showed me what I said a few days ago that I've always believed about Kevin Durant since he's been in the league. He's unguardable. And as much credit as Patrick Beverley deserves for the first 2 games, and he was great, the fact is Durant was limiting himself by only taking 8 shots. If you go, and here's the thing with Durant. If you go back to the last 2 months of the season, all of March and April, for some reason he wasn't shooting as much. He went from 19 shots a game to 14 shots a game. And I don't know why. Nobody else's shot stopped. His did. He gave an eloquent reason for his struggles in the first 2 games. It was basketball savvy. It was great insight. It was right about the refs letting Beverly get into it more. But the key phrase to what he said was, I'm Kevin Durant. Y'all know who I am. And yes, and that's my point. You are Kevin Durant. We can't have you being a role player. We can't have you taking 12 shots, 8 shots. We need you to go out there and be the star. And so that's what Steve Kerr was trying to get to him. And last night, that's what he did. And what I liked about it most was the way he did it was he didn't do it with over dribbling. He didn't do it with too much ISO. If you look at last year against Houston in that series, they baited him with their switching defense into going one-on-one a lot and ISO, and it got Golden State out of its offense, and they almost lost the series in large part because of that. Yesterday, it was post-ups. It was 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups. It was catch and shoot. And when he does that, I mean, it didn't take away from anybody else. Like, he was fantastic. And you just need Kevin Durant to be Kevin Durant. Like he said, he's Kevin Durant. Then be that. Don't be a role player. Be a star.
Well, Kevin Durant didn't show me anything that I didn't already know. He's unguardable. He's a unique talent because we've never seen a guy that's this tall, this skilled, that can do what he can do. Most 7-footers, when we were coming up, they played with their back to the basket. They couldn't step out to the three-point line. Dirk brought that in as a 7-footer. Right. But Dirk can't put the ball on the floor like this guy can. He can put the ball on the floor and go to the hole. He's unguardable. So he didn't show me anything, Skip. He can score on anybody. I like that he let the game come to him. He was aggressive, but nothing was forced. You know, there's a difference between saying, I'm being aggressive and you forcing up bad shots. Yeah, he had a couple of heat checks because he was feeling good. He wanted to see how far his range could be pushed out. But Kevin Durant let the game come to him. And so even when they posted him, Skip, they didn't post him down on the block. They posted him at the top of the key. Right. So now, and the Clippers are like, bruh, if you want to be a facilitator, go ahead, because that's not you. LeBron can impact the game by passing the ball. You impact the game by scoring the ball. So we'll take that. We'll let you take these little 8-9 shots a game, and you want to have 10, 12 assists, have at it. But the way Kevin Durant guts you is by the mid-range, putting it on the floor. And if you watched him in transition last night, Skip, he went to the rim a couple of times, but he pulled up from 15. He followed up, put back, and won. Kevin Durant plays he plays like this. Oh, yeah, well, I might have to concede that he's the best player. But, as Chris said, last 2 months, he's taking 14 shots per game as opposed to 19. And we did see the first 2 games. So until we see more of this, because we know what he represents, he is Kevin Durant, the most skilled player that we've seen, especially at putting the ball in the hole. 7 foot tall, a 10-foot apex on his jump shot, guided all that. So he didn't show you anything that you didn't already know, Skip. So stop.
By the way, quick point of order. I do remember him on one fast break. I think it was game 3 2 years ago in the finals, and he pulled up from the 3-point line. Guess who was guarding him? That guy, the ex-king.
He was. What did LeBron tell you? On film, what he likes to do is the hezzy. And then go by you. But he saw LeBron sinking, anticipating that. He pulled up, Skip. I gave him credit. What you want me to? We're not talking about that game.
That shot said, I'm the best player on the planet, because that was the King's house. That was the first time they broke through with Kevin Durant to win in his first finals MVP out of 2 straight. So Chris Broussard and I have closely observed Kevin Durant for a long time, and I have found him often baffling and perplexing and confounding because I've never quite figured him out, because he's never quite figured himself out. He still suffers an identity crisis of who am I? I came to Golden State to play beautiful basketball, share the basketball, unselfish basketball, and then to your point, he after a while he wants to be a cog in the system. No, you're the system. You are the guy. Draymond Green was crying in the parking lot, calling you on his cell phone after losing Game 7 because they realized that group couldn't do it without one more nuclear weapon.
He FaceTimed
him, okay? We need you, I'm crying.
You see what Brian did? He dropped a triple-double on us.
So, I have told you for 2 years, Kevin Durant is now the best player on the planet. But I have conceded an asterisk to that, which is when he decides to be. Because he doesn't always decide to be. Right. But last night, he decided to be. It was a little bit of an indictment for Kevin Durant that he needed the media to push his button, because the media pushed his button last night. He reads everything. He's the thinnest skinned superstar ever. And it doesn't seem to really thwart him in any way.
Not on the court.
That's what I mean. He rises above it on the court. But he reads and absorbs and takes to heart every little speck of criticism. And this got him. And he's saying, people that analyze basketball wanted me to engage with Patrick. No, we wanted you to engage with the game. How about just engage, right?
Yeah, we want you to bust Patrick Beverly up.
Right.
Which you should on a regular basis.
But bust them all up. And then I loved his quote. You're reading about the I'm Kevin Durant quote, but he said, I'm not going to get in the way of the game because I want to have a little back and forth with Patrick Beverly. No, Kevin. You are the game. You can't get in the way because you're it.
Right.
They're going to go as far as he takes them. Right. In the end, Steph's tremendous. He's all-time greatest shooter. Clay can be in streaks the all-time greatest shooter. And Draymond is Draymond. He can be the guts and the glue. But we know when push comes to shove, it's 35 or bust.
Right.
And so last night, they're in a little bit of trouble against the Clippers. They know the Clippers, as he said, we know they're going to come out with a lot of energy, which they did. And what did he do to their energy? He just shot it to pieces.
Killed it.
He makes his first 5 shots and his first 2 free throws. He's got 12 points in the quarter, and the game's over. Yeah. It's 41-24 ball game, right?
A guy like that can score the basketball. You don't want James Harden to go 5 for 5. You don't want Steph and these guys like KD to go. It's over. Once they see the ball go in the basket like that, you got no chance of stopping him.
Okay, so Kevin, he's had these shoe campaigns. Am I nice, Kevin, or am I not nice? Who am I? I don't know who I am. Am I a tough guy, or am I a really good guy? I don't know who I am, because some days he's that guy and some days he's that guy. Am I from the mean streets of Seat Pleasant, Maryland, or am I an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley? I'm all of the above, right? And he'll wake up on a daily basis like, today, I feel like I'm that guy.
But
right?
most days, what is he? Confrontational with the media. That's what he is on most days.
I've said to Kevin, because he'll text you when he doesn't like something
Really?
you say, oh yeah.
Let you know.
He'll text you. He'll let you know. He will. And I've said to him, when the guy I saw in Oklahoma City is different. Like now, since you've been in Golden State, cursing more, calling out the refs more, and he told me, he said, this is the real Kevin Durant. The guy in OKC, I was just trying to, say what I needed to say for the media. And all that.
Oklahoma, because they don't
they
don't curse out there. They Bible.
I don't know whether you buy it or not.
It's Bible-ish.
Whether you buy it or not, that's what he told. He said, this is the real KD.
Okay.
And I don't know, like I said, it wasn't just the first 2 games. This has gone on the last 2 months. I don't know. Remember, he even said it in his little spiel the other day.
Yep.
For the last 2 months, we've been playing this way. Well, he's been playing that way.
Right.
Steph's shots haven't gone down. Clay's haven't gone down. I don't know if KD was trying to get Boogie more involved. His shots went a little up.
Yeah.
And this is why I do think that I think they'll be fine, maybe better without Boogie. No offense to him, because he is a really good individual player. But you can have too much, right? Like, giving it to Boogie takes away from KD and Steph and Clay. So now I think it'll be, more fluid with the 3 of them sharing the ball, and they should be able to roll.
Well, I don't care if he go into the back. He could have went to a back and forth, because he could have got up 20 shots and get into a back and forth like Ben Simmons got into it with Jared Dudley yesterday, Skip. He wasn't, hey, I'm just going to do what I do.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, we're going to count it up and see who got the most points.
Right.
We'll talk about it.
Bottom line, Steve Kerr 2 days ago said, Kevin Durant can get any shot he wants at any time.
Yeah.
Period.
He ain't the only one that can do that. James Harden can get any shot he wanted any time. LeBron James can get any shot he wanted any time. Steve Kerr ain't breaking no news, Skip Bayless. You act like he want to interrupt our normally scheduled program to break this news. Kevin Durant can get any shot he wants.
Talking about 8-foot jump shots that are unstoppable. 3-point shots are stoppable, especially when LeBron or LeBrick shoots them.
There you go. Well, let us get this growing healthy.
Yeah.
We see it a specialist
Are you
right now.
still trying to get it
Yeah, we
healthy?
getting that growing
It still
healthy.
bothers
We
you.
got something for you.
Yeah, really?
Got something for you next year, buddy.
Is he going to that physical therapist in Beverly Hills?
Nah, we ain't going to see her. We ain't going to see her.
No more social media posts.
She's
though.
off the team now.
You post a photo in.
We're not going to see her.
Okay, KD was motivated by something last night. Ben Simmons was motivated by a little something else. Is he actually the most important Sixer? We will discuss that next.
No mercy.
So right before tip-off in Brooklyn last night, Joel Embiid was ruled out of Game 3 with a sore knee. But the Sixers still had Ben Simmons. He led the way with 31 points and 7 assists, and he made 11 of his 13 shots. This came after Jared Dudley said Simmons was just average in the half court. But after the game, Simmons denied any extra motivation and said any feud with Dudley is over with. Chris Broussard is still with us. So, Chris, what did the Sixers show you without Joel Embiid?
Well, look, I knew they didn't need Joel Embiid to beat Brooklyn. Okay, they still got 3 all-star players, all-star caliber players, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons. They will need Embiid to win the next round against Toronto, to have any chance of really winning that round.
Okay.
But last night, let's just focus on Ben Simmons, because he was the story. And what I saw from him, we all know about his lack of a jump shot, but he can do everything else. Everything else. He's a good defender. He can post up. He even threw up a sky hook last night. Yeah. He can get in the lane. The key for Ben Simmons is his aggressiveness. Mm-hmm. We talk about he can't shoot. That's a liability in today's game. But on the flip side, the floor is more spread than ever in today's NBA. Mm-hmm. And so driving lanes are there. So he can, until he gets a jumper, he can overcome his lack of a J by being aggressive, getting into the paint. And if they wall him off, he can find the open shooters because he's such a great passer.
Right.
So he was terrific. And last night without Embiid, the lanes were just wide open because usually you got Embiid in there and you go through him. So the game plan was different too. Even when you had a center in, a Greg Monroe, Boban, the game plan isn't to go through them, to feature them. Yeah. So it was more wide open for Simmons to do what he does, and he was tremendous. And I've said it, and I do stand by it. Embiid and Simmons are not yet mature enough to lead them deep into the playoffs, in my view. Maybe Simmons is maturing before our eyes. Because I love the fact that with the fans in Philadelphia going at him, with the media going at him, with Jared Dudley calling him out, with the, the little signs, the missing jump shot signs that were outside in Brooklyn, outside of the arena. With all of that, he answered the call. He showed that he had dog in him. But I need you to have that dog in you every night, especially in the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Every single playoff game, you have to have it. He didn't have it in game one. There are times when he'll willingly just let himself kind of be a bystander. Even when he gets close to a triple-double or big numbers, he doesn't put his imprint on the game. He's good enough to put his imprint on the game every night. That's what he did last night. He needs to do it at least every playoff game.
Well, you look at this game, Skip. We live here in L.A. and close to the 405. The 405 doesn't seem nearly as crowded when those 18-wheelers are not hogging up all the traffic. It get crowded regardless, Skip. But when 18-wheelers are not out there, it's not nearly as crowded. And that's what Joel Embiid. And so the lane, him being out of the ball game is open. But you know what else opened up the lanes? Tobias Harris going 6 for 6 from the three. J.J. Redick hitting those threes. So now you can't clog off. So you're trying to catch him because you're like, why am I going to pressure the ball way out there? He's not going to pull up and shoot it. So you're trying to catch him, and you're letting him get ahead of steam. Well, they've seen J.J. hit that three. They've seen Tobias hit those threes. So now they're less apprehensive to help you.
Right.
Now he's able to finish at the rim either over the top or dunking on your head. So if you're right, transition, he only had two made baskets in transition, only took 2. But in the half court set, if you let him run downhill and he's going to – people forget, he's 6'10 and a half. He's not a 6'1 point guard. He's 6'10. So he's going to be able to finish over damn near everybody in the NBA.
And he's got touch when he finishes.
And he can finish with either hand.
He can.
I mean, people don't – I don't know. Sometimes I think he should shoot the free throws right-handed, but he shoots it left-handed, so I don't really know what he is because he can – either hand, he can throw the ball into the basket, Skip. The difference was last night. Yes, he was aggressive, but when guys are going to make those shots and you can't help him off because he is a 6'10 point guard, so he knows how to pass the basketball out of the double team. So they left him one-on-one. He punished whomever had him one-on-one driving the basketball.
So last night was everything we've all wanted to see from Ben Simmons. It was a tour de force. This is really only his second year.
Yeah.
But that was rare last night. I haven't seen a lot of that from Ben Simmons over time. That was more of a blip than a trend, right? I might even suggest that was an anomaly, right? Like it's an exception to the rule. The rule has been no dog in him, not enough dog in him. What did I sit and say that whole year he was at LSU? Boy, low motor. Does he care? Does he just go stand on the side? You guys do it. And it felt like, well, it's because he got stuck at Baton Rouge for a year because in Australia, they don't make you wait. You come here and you have to wait a whole year till you play pro basketball and cash your first check. I don't know. So the point is that it took Jared Dudley to flip his switch last night for the first time, and he got really flipped, and I loved what I saw. It was highly impressive. Maybe it took everybody flipping his switch. Maybe it took you criticizing him, me criticizing him, the world criticizing him, the Sixers fans starting to turn on him, and going to Brooklyn into as hostile an environment as you could ever experience with a missing poster out on a pole outside.
I'm sure he saw a couple of those riding that bus to the stadium.
I'm sure he did. And you don't think they were all over him last night with ridicule that is unspeakable? Right. And they even resorted at the end of the game to hack a Ben because he's a 60% free throw shooter. And he missed his first 2 and had the guts to step back up there 2 more times and make both. 4 for his last 4, 9 for 11. That's guts to me. That showed you what he can do when challenged. Well, what about when he's not challenged? What about when it's just free and easy and it's just another game to him? Does he care enough, or does he only care if somebody really checks him.
Will he
really,
take that same approach if Joel Embiid's in the lineup? Maybe he took that approach because
you know what?
Joel's out.
I can make the case. Obviously, are the Sixers better without Joel Embiid? No. But can Ben Simmons be better without Joel Embiid? I can make a case, yes.
Well, until when he gets a jump shot, he and Embiid will be great together because Ben won't have to always go in the post and force Embiid out. But until then, and if he never gets a jump shot, Philly may have to make a decision eventually because Embiid's health may always be a problem. Can we say with certainty that 4 or 5 years from now, Joel Embiid's going to be a monster and killing people the way he is?
No.
And you could, I would not break them up right now. There's no way. They're too young. Let them both grow. Let them develop together. But you could certainly make an argument that you could build around Ben Simmons as your big in today's NBA because he can post and he can score in the post.
But you do need to shoot some shots.
Yeah, you do. But theoretically, let's be honest. You could theoretically play him just like Milwaukee plays Giannis. You could, if you put 4 shooters around him and have Ben Simmons bring the ball up and he can either drive or post, he can pass out. Like you said, teams today, the defense don't help because you have to stick on the shooters and we'd rather him get a 2 than a 3. Right. But with his ability to get in the lane and finish, that's tough. It's a tough choice to make.
But here's the thing: what we're starting to see with Giannis is starting to take the 3. He's starting to take the mid-range.
He's better at it than him.
Ben will not even attempt unless it's the shot clock winding down or the last seconds of a quarter or a half. That's the only time he's going to attempt a 3.
He is 0 for 18 in his career. He's never made 1 3.
Right.
Last night I had to watch Jokic just sit out there and just rip them like they're free throws. He made 3, 7 feet tall.
So that's going to be the key from him. He's going to, Chris, he's going to have to develop a shot.
No question.
Soon.
No, this summer.
Okay, this is it. You brought it up. Does he have that dog in it? Does he have killer in him? I saw fire and desire last night I've never seen from him, but it was inspired by Jared Dudley.
Sure.
Yeah. So you and I part ways on this one. You think that Jared Dudley should have shut his mouth until the series was over.
I do.
And I believe Jared Dudley has been around so long on so many teams, 12 years in this league, one-time ACC Player of the Year at BC. I think he saw an opening that this kid, to him, appeared to be psychologically fragile. And he went for the throat. Well, he's great in transition, but he's average in the half court because he wanted to plant more doubt in his brain, make him play out of character, make him out of sorts. And instead, he rose to the occasion. Of course, he scoffed at shoot-around yesterday. Come on, it's Jared Dudley. Well, then on the court, he's saying, Jared Dudley airballs a 3, and he goes, yes, right? Okay, so clearly he was well aware of what was going on.
Yeah, I understand that, he's like, well, he saw a method to his madness, but just because the door is open doesn't mean you walk in there. It might be a trap.
Okay, well, last night it was a trap. It actually worked to their favor that Embiid had to sit the game.
Right.
All of a sudden, the whole onus, the whole focus went on Ben Simmons.
But in fairness to Simmons, game 2 with Embiid there, he did the same thing. He didn't score 31, but he set the tone with his aggressiveness.
They scored 51 in the third quarter.
Do you think the Nets underestimated because Embiid was not going to play? And it's like, without their best player, they can't beat us.
Possibly. They're young. It's their first time on this stage. Yeah, I could definitely see that. D'Angelo Russell, your leader. Look, there are people around the league that will tell you about Ben Simmons that he's more interested in being a celebrity than,
I see
not that he doesn't want to be a star, but than a superstar player.
Agree.
He's got to, look, LeBron is his idol. He's got to learn
that's not a bad idol to have.
Who's, you mean Ben's?
Ben's.
Okay, not Joel's. Okay.
No, Ben.
Okay, right.
But I'm saying that's what people say about Ben. Ben's got to recognize, and I know Clutch and Rich Paul are telling him, the way to become this icon, this cultural icon, this celebrity, is to be the greatest basketball player you can be. Yeah. And he's got to focus on that. You're right, his motor has been in question. And the question is he going to be a Magic Johnson type killer? Because Magic had that killer, even though he was smiling and all that stuff. Or is he Andrew Wiggins? Who Andrew Wiggins has nights like this, where he shows you, we kind of know now what Wiggins is.
Okay, but Andrew Wiggins is more athlete than basketball player to me. This kid can pass.
No, he's got all the
crazy.
skills.
He's got it all.
But if he doesn't bring the energy every night and the attitude of I'm going to put my imprint on this game, I'm going to dominate this game, then it'll fluctuate.
Ask Isaiah is Magic killer. But I thought we were boring, Magic, and you gonna do this to me?
Right.
After they kissed, they would kiss before.
And then Magic caught her with a bow.
Well, let's see if he can keep it going. Game 4 tomorrow afternoon in Brooklyn. Chris, good stuff. Always nice to have you. Why did Tom Coughlin call out his best players yesterday? We'll discuss this story next.
No mercy.
Yesterday, Jaguars Vice President Tom Coughlin appeared to call out 2 of his best players. Coughlin was asked about the team's workouts and said, quote, "We're close to 100% attendance, and quite frankly, all of our players should be here." Jalen Ramsey and linebacker Telvin Smith were the most notable players missing. And the Players Association responded by saying, quote, "Our CBA definition of voluntary is the same as the actual definition of voluntary and prohibits anyone from threatening players to participate in voluntary workouts." Shannon, did you have a problem with him calling out his players?
Oh, yeah, because Tom Coughlin's out of pocket for this one, Skip. Voluntary, you know what? Merriam-Webster. You know they combined. It used to be Merriam and Webster. They combined. Yeah, Skip.
You did your homework.
Yeah. Unconstrained by interference from one's own choice or consent. Meaning I can choose to attend. That's what volunteer. Tennessee is the volunteer. I'm volunteering my services. You can't request that you can request that I come, but if I choose not to, okay, fine, so be it. Jalen Ramsey said last year, Skip, as long as I'm on the Jags, I'll probably never come to another voluntary offseason.
At least he's honest.
Tom Coughlin, you get how he's been around the game far too long, Skip. He knows how this works. Voluntary. If they choose to come, Tom Brady did that for the longest time. Last year, he took some time away. Okay, you can't hold that against me. If I choose to come, so be it. Me, I don't got no problem with it because I never, ever went to one. Because you know what Mike Shanahan told him? He stood up in the meeting room and said, you know what? Shannon Sharpe, my head coach, is the only one that's not required to be the voluntary because he get out of shape working out with you guys. So I'm going to do my own thing. See, Jalen Ramsey with that contract, Skip, you know what it is. He's in year 4. They already picked up his option for year 5. So he said, y'all want me to be here. Y'all need to go and put me in that Pat Peterson range and break bread with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this is about. That's all this is about.
That's what it's about?
Yeah. But he working out with his dad up in Tennessee. Dad got one of the old speed calves. Yeah, so, he don't need that. He stay with his dad.
So we're talking about probably the 2 best players on this football team.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey's made 2 straight Pro Bowls and 1 first-team All-Pro.
Yep.
Telvin Smith did make the Pro Bowl 2 years ago when they went 10-6, and they were the talk of the league, right?
Yes.
And they had a 20-10 lead early in the 4th quarter at Foxborough in the AFC Championship game, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But it's Patriot history, not Jaguar history. So I get everything you just said. The rules are the rules. But I got to tell you, I got chills reading what Tom Coughlin said. I think off the cuff, but it read like literature to me. It was philosophical brilliance to me. It was like F. Scott Fitzgerald out of The Great Gatsby. That's how it read. Like, I don't know if he scripted it or if he just spoke it straight from the heart. I'm going to read, Jenny read part of it, but I'm going to read this quote one more time if we could see it on the screen.
Okay.
We're very close to 100% attendance, and quite frankly, our players should be here building the concept of team, working hard side by side, constructing our bond of togetherness, formulating our collective priorities and goals. Success in the NFL demands struggle. Those who have everything given to them become lazy, selfish, and insensitive to the real values of team. The hard work that many try to avoid is the major building block for the development of an outstanding football team. It's not about rights and privileges. It's about obligations and responsibility. And the question is, can we count on you?
Well,
That's brilliant. I got chills reading that. I'm like,
let me see your notes. Let me see that right there.
They're not my notes. They're Tom Coughlin's speech.
Hold on. He said something. It's about obligation. I'm not obliged to be here.
Right,
it's about responsibility. I have no responsibility to be here.
Then lose. Go ahead.
No, stop it. Because Shannon Sharpe wouldn't run. We want a bunch. But anyway, Skip, you know what says team?
You were the only exception to this rule.
But you know what? You know what that says team? When you pay your best players. That says team. That says we care about our best players. So when you start paying them, he gonna show up. Pay the man. Tom Coughlin tried to guilt the man.
So you're prioritizing money over winning. Interesting.
Hold on. I thought you play football in the fall. I didn't think you win a team because we've seen teams win the offseason. We've seen teams win the draft and do nothing in the fall. So which is it, Tom Coughlin? I'm trying to figure.
Talking about building blocks, little building blocks that add up.
How the hell you
big
think I
things.
got here? I built something. From a little bitty baby boy, built that thing up. Now, so Skip Bayless, how bad you want me here?
Love that.
How bad you want me here? Because if y'all pay me, I can be here and leave.
We don't have a football team.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
not what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
The reason I love football so much is
love it too.
it's the ultimate
It is.
team game.
Yes.
It's about unity. It's about closeness in a locker room. I've never seen a split football team, well, maybe one in Dallas, that could win a championship, but the Dallas team was so loaded, they just won in spite of themselves.
Skip, what's your definition of voluntary?
I get it. I'm with you. The rule is the rule.
Okay.
I'm with you.
And there's
but
why
sometimes, if you really care as a football team about winning, you just show up just to show each other we're all in this
Can I ask you a
together.
question, Jenny?
Yeah.
You think NFL teams voluntarily play players? Or are they obligated to? Okay, you want me here, put the word, take out voluntary and put mandatory. And then I'll be there.
You know, it's funny. You speak like a guy without any Super Bowl rings. That's what it sounds like. And I don't get it because this is the essence of how you win a championship the first time.
You know what?
Not the third or fourth time. Maybe the third or fourth time you can do it a different way.
You know what, Skip? You know why I'm like this? Because for me, is that I stayed away as long as I could. And once I came back, I was ready to be back. But once I got football, I wasn't going home every other weekend because I wanted to be there. But I needed a break. I needed a mental break because I was all football all the time for 20 weeks.
I hear you. The Jaguars have won what? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. They got to the doorstep, and then they got Brady'd in the fourth quarter. And that was the end of the Jags as we knew
So
them.
you think that happened because some guys missed voluntary minicamp?
Sometimes you have this cornerstone of team unity that you can lean on against Tom Brady and Foxborough in the fourth
I think
quarter.
what Blake Bortles showed, he was there for voluntary, and look at him.
Okay, you can argue, but he's not there anymore.
Exactly.
They got a new leader.
Who is-
They got a guy who will be worshipped in the locker room.
Whatever.
Who had a shrine in the Eagles
Worshipped.
locker room.
You know what?
Worshipped. You know?
Nah, he ain't never gonna get the love like he got in Philadelphia.
Yep. Nick Foles.
They have
the
to have-
magic man. He's the magic man.
But good, we had to get him up out of Pennsylvania.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
we had to get him up out of
To your
Pennsylvania.
detriment, and now you're in big trouble.
No, we're not in big trouble.
Yeah, because he's
Division
left
champ.
unopposed.
Eagles, division champs.
Really?
But Tom Coughlin needs to stop speaking out on this. They need to fine him.
Fine him?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the way it ended last year.
Yep.
I mean, they were last in the division. You want to
last.
just get going and start again, but I respect the
Do you
idea that
remember
every
what my
player
team
is
did to that
different.
defense?
Yeah.
At Jerry World?
Hold
My
on,
team
Tom.
scored
Hold on.
40.
What's his job
40.
title? He's the guy that gave Blake Bortles that money. And now I'm going to listen to him about coming to volunteer. I'm not Jalen Ramsey. You better not go.
He did win 2 Super Bowls. I don't know how he did.
I mean, he did. But he ain't one there. Them Super Bowls ain't got nothing to do with him in Jacksonville.
Nope, they don't.
So you never did any voluntary? Nothing.
I wish
Zero.
I might.
That's interesting though. I mean, it's just
I
different
was
for
in that.
everyone.
Man, they tried to give me. They were trying to pay me $100 to work out. So we can give you $100. I said, no, you can't.
Okay. Well,
I need $2,500 a day.
so the Jaguars will be an also-ran next year.
You know what? Stop it.
We'll have to see.
So hold on. So what about all these teams that have 100% voluntary and they don't win the Super Bowl? Why?
Did you see what happened in Dallas the other day? Ezekiel Elliott showed up for
They go every
voluntary.
year. They go every year, and guess what?
Voluntary.
Take that L.
Yeah.
Scarlet letter printed right on the chest.
What did I tell Jenny yesterday? Smelling something. I'm smelling a Super Bowl
that
over
what it
here.
is you're
Yeah,
smelling?
a Super Bowl.
He's making nice. He also
I am voluntarily sniffing a Super Bowl.
I smell that too, Jay. You smell that? It's that emoji with the little eyes and the little steam coming up off it. That's what I smell. Because I believe that's what y'all season going to turn into,
Really?
Skip Bayless.
We don't
Yeah.
wanna
You better
see
hope
that,
so.
Shannon.
Yeah,
I
I don't hope that. I want you guys to be 100% because I want Eagles to inflict pain. and I'm never gonna root so hard like I root for the Patriots. Yeah, I'm gonna get me a Tom Brady jersey. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull out my Patriots helmet because me and Ben, my homeboy Ben Coates, we traded helmets. I got me a Patriots helmet. I'm gonna be wearing my Patriots. Oh yes,
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna wear that helmet
told
that
you,
Sunday.
my team's going to lose 4 games next year, and one of them will be in Foxborough.
Oh, we betting due. We betting due on that one.
No, we're not.
Skip, that's your team. How you not gonna bet on your team?
Because that's that quarterback. You don't beat that quarterback in that state.
That's your team, though. Well, up Dak. Dak, that's Brady-esque. He's a younger Tom Brady. And you know the
Esque.
masquerade.
Esque doesn't beat Brady.
Mask.
Guys, we got a lot of months before we need to officially bet on that one. But we need to move on to this because Kevin Durant went after our friend Chris Haynes last night. And Chris is here to respond and tell us
Katie,
exactly
you wrong for that.
what happened next.
No mercy.
Kevin Durant and the Warriors blew out the Clippers at Staples last night. KD led the way with 38 points after getting called out by Steve Kerr to be more aggressive. Then after the game, Durant had a very interesting back and forth with our friend Chris Haynes from Yahoo. So take a listen.
Okay, over the last month or so, you've been, pass first, been distributor for the team.
That's not true.
That's not?
No, I don't pass up shots. I just play within the offense.
Oh, I ain't say okay. Well, you've been more of a distributor. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it's because how we play.
Okay, that's fine. Tonight, you wasn't, right?
Yeah, because Coach called more plays for me to start.
Okay, so moving forward, do you think that it'll be a game-by-game basis as far as how you approach the game?
Look, I don't run the show. Any team I've ever been a part of, I'm just a player. I'm one of the guys, you know what I'm saying? So whatever my coach needs me to do, whether, no matter what it is, I just got to go out there and be prepared for it mentally and physically. So tonight, no different.
And we're joined by Yahoo senior NBA insider Chris Haynes. Chris, well done there. Those conversations aren't easy. So what was your takeaway from that interaction with KD?
Well, first of all, my takeaway, let me say this. KD ain't sunning me on national TV. I'll tell you that like that. That ain't happening. I'm going back and forth. But no, I knew that's a delicate situation. Obviously, the criticism he's faced this week in not shooting and not, I guess, stepping up to the plate when it comes to his matchup with Patrick Beverley. So I understood, before the questioning that it could come off a certain type of way. Sure. But look, all I wanted to know and all I wanted to ask and get from that was, moving forward, which KD are we going to see now?
Right.
Are we going to see the guy who, averaged 12 shots in the first 2 games, or the guy who just exploded and was aggressive from the start? That's it. So my takeaway from that is that, look, I think he's he feels like, I guess he feels like we shouldn't be questioning
Yes.
him. He's the pro. He knows what the team needs and what they've been doing as of late to be successful. So I think he felt that type of way as far as the way I was questioning him. Yeah. Not that what I was doing, but I just want to know, what are we going to get moving forward? That was it. That was the extent.
We're looking at it. You take 24 shots in the first 2 games. You take 23 shots in game 3. Okay, the way you played, you're in attack mode. You didn't wait for the thing. You didn't try to post him up on the block. Now, maybe, Steve Kerr says, instead of posting you up on the block, we're going to put you at the top of the key. So, therefore, it's going to have to, they'll come from a distance, a further distance. But they were trying to make Kevin Durant. The Clippers are trying to make Kevin Durant a passer. They know that's not his specialty. He's an assassin. He's a marksman. He guts you by scoring 30 to 40 on you, not by having 10 assists. That's not his game. So, and the thing is, this notion that I know what we saw. And you know what you saw. Kevin Durant, you weren't aggressive. You took 8 shots and you took 16 shots. That's what you did, and you took 23 tonight. So whether or not we played the game, whether or not we coached the game, or whether or not we put a team together, I know what we saw, and we saw a different Kevin Durant in game 3 than we saw in game 1 and 2. So however you did it or wherever you did it, that's unimportant to us, is that you did it. Now moving forward, which Kevin Durant, with the real Kevin Durant? Were you behind door number 3 or you behind door 1 and 2?
That's always been the billion-dollar question. That question. The answer to that question will win or lose this NBA championship, because who is he? Which guy's going to emerge? All I heard right there was our man Chris Haynes stating the blatantly, painfully obvious. You were just stating the obvious to him, and Kevin is so defensive, so thin-skinned to the media that he's just going to push back on everything. And you could have said, Kevin, it's dark outside. He said, no, the sun's shining outside. No, Kevin, it's 10 o'clock at night. I promise, I was just outside. It's dark. No, the sun's out. Oh. So this time, what I caught in that I hadn't caught before was, he said, the coach just called more plays for me. Oh, so he's putting it back on Steve Kerr. It's your fault. Right. You just didn't call plays for me in games 1 and 2. I'm sure that's not quite the case, because Kevin just got in his head. He went to Golden State to play beautiful basketball, to share the basketball. And he got in his head, if they're going to double me or almost play box and one on me, I'm going to be a facilitator tonight, because he wanted to prove everybody, because LeBron, it's head-to-head, you know. He wants to show he can pass, and he can pass the basketball, except he was passing to the Clippers a lot in game 2, right? Because he had 9 turnovers.
Exactly.
And it killed him. And last night, I'm sure they called more plays from the start, but I also saw him a couple times just say, I got this. You know, as soon as the ball touched his hands, he's just going to go left or right, and he's just going to pull up, and nobody can stop that.
No.
He is the most unstoppable scorer, very possibly in the history of the league. Very possibly. And I'm the biggest Jordan fan you can find. But this is 7 feet tall, shooting it from up there. And at that apex, nobody can touch that. No. Either he's going to miss it, or it's going to the bottom of the net.
So if that's the case, so somebody's lying. Because Steve Kerr says, I want you to take 20 to 30 shots. Yeah. Well, how is he going to take, Steve, 20 to 30 shots if you're not calling plays for him? Kevin Durant, you said I'm not going to take 20 to 30 shots. That's not what I do. I play within the floor, within the stretch of the floor of the game. Now, somebody misrepresenting the truth here. Boy, that's a better way of saying somebody lied. I believe Kevin Durant, for whatever reason, he chose to play that style because he says, okay, Patrick Beverly, they're going to come with a double team. I'm in the low post. I'm going to post up. They come. I'm going to pass out of it. Last night, Kevin Durant looked different. Yeah. He was aggressive. Yeah. He shot the ball early in the shot clock. He was 1-2 dribble, pull up. In transition, he was dunking the ball. He was chasing to the rim, getting putbacks. Kevin Durant did not play like that in games 1 and 2. No, you know what, Kevin Durant? I've never played in the NBA, but I watched a lot of NBA games. And you did not play the way you played last night. You did not play in the previous 2 games. That's all we said. It's not like we said, "Oh, you were bad." You were bad. You still Kevin, like you said. I'm Kevin Durant. Yeah. You know Kevin Durant, right? Yep. We know that, and that's what makes us upset because we know you, Kevin Durant, and we know you can do that.
Well, I want to add this too. Look, I didn't take offense by that. You know, I know Kevin. I know KD. Yeah. I know how he responds. So I knew going in, it could be some drama. Right. But with all that being said, you know, he gave me a brief one-on-one, and he talked about, look, I'm just happy with all that's going on this week, all the criticism I received. I'm just happy we're talking about actual basketball, not my decision that's coming up over the summer. Oh. So, you know, he brought that. I wrote that, for Yahoo Sports. But, no, after all of that.
He brought up.
But he brought it up. But he don't want to talk about, hey, man, I don't want to talk about my free agency.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not talking about my free agency. Remember, my free agency.
But it has been hard for him.
Focus on basketball.
How is that hard?
He wants to focus on basketball.
It's lingering.
Guys, look, there have been no decisions made on my future. When that time comes, you guys will be the second to know because I'll be the first to know because I got to make the decision. But right now, I'm just hooping it up. That's all you got to do. But when you become confrontational, guess what? I got to prod a little bit because I need to know what's really going on. KD, have you made a decision? Are you and Kyrie a package deal? Where are you going? Are you going to stay in Golden State? If you coming to Golden State, are you going to the Knicks? Because that's what everybody's saying.
You'll be asking that right now, huh?
I'll be. No, I wouldn't ask.
First round.
Would you ask the tough question?
Oh, yeah.
First round of playoffs?
Yeah.
I would
KD, I mean, word on the street is you and Kyrie a package deal. That's what the word on the street. And you know I'm in these streets.
Oh, man.
So I have been closely observing Kevin Durant for a long time, back to his 1 year at the University of Texas, and he has baffled and confounded me from the start because he can be this bizarre mix of insecure, because there was some insecurity last night in what he was saying, and supremely, arrogantly confident on the basketball court, because no one's had more weight of the NBA world on their shoulders than he had in 2 finals ago, when he had left Russell Westbrook and joined forces with the defending, not the defending, but because they had just lost, but that Golden State dynasty. And I thought he just might have a hard time in that finals against LeBron the first time, and he just took it over. It was unbelievable. He won me completely over with that. So none of this drama
No, he didn't.
affects.
What won you over is that he did it to LeBron. It could have been anybody.
That's what it was.
Well, you said LeBron was the king, and then all of a sudden he got deposed.
How we get to it's Kevin Durant,
Yeah,
Steve Kerr back there. How we get back to LeBron? That was your fault, Shannon. That was you this time.
No, he gonna talk about the reason why I fell in love with Kevin Durant is because he shot it right between the eyes of the king in the king's house. No, that's not why.
Shot it right between his eyes.
No, that's not. That's
I've
not
never
true.
seen a better shot than that.
It was
except for Ray
right
Allen.
to his eyes.
It was. It was great.
Except.
It was a great shot. It broke. I was there. It broke my heart.
You were there.
But what?
That's when he proved for the first time and for the last time he is the best player on
Woo!
the planet.
Stop it.
Right there, huh?
He just is.
That shot right there.
Well,
huh?
how did that
So
was
we're
the
not gonna.
passing
So we
of
can.
the mantle right there.
So Chris, we just gonna disregard that triple double.
That was
the man averaged a triple double for the
changing of
finals,
the guard.
and he was 4 assists away again from averaging another triple double. So we just gonna disregard that.
He did have Kyrie and Kevin Love.
He didn't have Kyrie last year. You know, the first series, Kevin Love and Kyrie got hurt in overtime. Kevin Love didn't play.
Okay.
I sure would love to see KD go to an NBA final and not have Russell Westbrook and James Harden and not have Stephen Clay. Woo, but that'd be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it, Skip? Because that's what LeBron James is doing.
Well, once upon a time in Oklahoma City, Russell went down early in the playoffs and against the Memphis Grizzlies back when they were Memphis.
I remember that.
Kevin came up a little small in that series. Yeah, came up a little small. So I had my doubts.
Because we know my guy. My guy put it in the basket.
Yeah.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Where is your guy?
I knew that question
Where
was
is
coming.
he?
All I know-
Whatever happened to him?
You know what?
Do we know?
I bet Adam Silver wish he was there because the NBA playoffs are down 26%.
I heard that.
That's what my guy is. My guy
I heard
is.
that.
Wait a second. Outside those light poles at Staples Center, are they putting missing posters up? for
Don't do
LeBron?
that, Skip.
He's missing.
Don't do that. I'll tell you what, I bet the NBA
Missing.
the NBA
He's
wish
missing.
LeBron was in the
do wish he
playoffs.
was in.
We do.
Yeah,
we miss
I
him.
miss him. I miss him
Oh, I
myself,
miss
Shannon.
Yeah,
I
miss
miss
it
the
too.
La Drama, man.
No, you don't. There you go.
I do. I miss the La
Why you
Drama.
just-
It's the greatest show on earth.
Why you
It
just-
is. I'm serious. I'm not even
But Skip,
exaggerating.
it's still going on right now.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
boys not
say.
playing.
Well, sometimes it rises above the playoffs.
Why you just can't say, you know what, I miss LeBron being in the playoffs because, you know, he's the GOAT. He's one of the greatest players. Even if you don't say GOAT, he's one of the 2 or 3 greatest players
You know
of all
what?
time.
I'll give you this. He's the drama goat. He is.
There you go.
Am I right?
There you go, Charlie. The drama king, the
He is that,
drama.
but he's a lot more than that, too.
He's pretty.
You know what? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, Chris, good stuff.
Love you guys.
You keep asking the right questions, and then we'll keep talking about it. We'll see you soon. Will Russell Westbrook get the Thunder back in the series tonight? We will discuss next.
No mercy.
Well, it is pretty much a must-win for Russell Westbrook and the Thunder tonight. They're back home after losing the first 2 games in Portland. Russ made just 5 of his 20 shots in Game 2, and after that game said, quote, "I take full responsibility for tonight's loss because the way I played was unacceptable." On the other side, Damian Lillard has been great, averaging almost 30 points per game in the series. So, Shannon, what shot do you give OKC to win this series?
I think it's a small shot, but I'm going to give them a chance because they still have 2 all-star, 2 all-NBA players in Paul George and Russell Westbrook, Skip. And if you really look at it, for player, they might be more talented than Portland because Steven Adams is better than Aminu.
Better than Tanner?
Yeah, you like Grant or you like Harkless. So when you look at it, you start peeling back layers. But I just think the thing is with Russ, he just can't help himself, Skip. He can't help himself and let the game come to him. He wants to insert himself and be the deciding factor in the outcome of the ball game. And he is most times, but not in the way that he had hoped because he's shooting bad shots.
Yep, I hear you. I'm going to stick with Oklahoma City to win this series. It's probably going to go 7, but that means Oklahoma City is going to have to win 3 games at home, and that will be hard. But I think they're highly capable, and Vegas definitely thinks they're highly capable because they are a 7.5-point favorite tonight. Russell Westbrook will play possessed tonight. It is
good?
personal. I said that the other day. His problem is he tries too hard.
Right.
No one plays harder,
Right.
but sometimes you try too hard.
Sure.
Okay? So can he back off a little bit? Can he channel his rage into beautiful basketball? I don't know. But when this team is right, it can be really, really right.
Right.
Paul George sits over there. I don't love him sitting on the bench with big ice bags on his shoulders. I
Yeah,
don't
how
know.
healthy is his shoulder?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't know, seems to be able to shoot it pretty cleanly. They go as he scores and defends. Russell is obviously the engine, but the scorer and the primary defender is Paul George. So if you're telling me that he's got some shoulder issue that is really hampering him, then all bets are off. But remember, they were favored to win the series as the 6th seed over the 3 before in Vegas. They were the favorite. And I like them, and I picked them, and I'm going to stick with it. Is it an uphill? Yeah, it's way uphill back.
I got the Thunder losing in 6. The question is, are they going to be able to solve that puzzle, which is C.J. McCollum and Dame Lillard? Because they're averaging 58 points between the two of those. And they seem to have...
But they always do.
Okay, then you got no chance. Well, you got no chance if you can't stop that. You got to shut that off. That's your only chance.
You really have to shut off all the rest of it. You can't have Enes Kanter coming in and just doing you in.
Well, Kanter didn't really do anything in Game 2. He did have 20-18 in Game 1. But when you let C.J. go for 33 and then you let Dame go for 29, you got no chance.
I've seen them both go for big numbers and lose games because it's just...
Yeah, against Golden State.
Yeah, against Golden State.
No,
you're right. But in the end, Steven Adams needs to play big because he is a huge man who can play big. And, hey, Jeremy Grant is he's like a borderline all-star talent. You know, he's got that much ability.
He can rebound, he can protect the rim, he can shoot the 3.
And listen, Schroeder was a shrewd pickup for that team because he can really light it up coming off the bench. And he had a bad game in Game 2.
With Dame cooking him.
Yeah.
Dame giving it to him. They point guards, Dame giving it to him.
Yeah. Tonight is a big game for Russell Westbrook, maybe even for his legacy. We talked about this the other night. If they lose this game and then they just sort of go up in flames and maybe get swept, this would look really bad for Russell Westbrook because it would discount 3 straight years of triple-doubles because it would be easy for everybody to sit back and say, well, wait a second. That's 3 straight years you've flamed out in the first round.
Exactly, Skip. So the value, it got him into the playoffs, but he's getting bounced after these historic seasons in the first round.
Yeah, especially you got Paul George, and you've been bounced twice with Paul George, who, by the way, remember in the closeout Game 6 at Utah, he scored 1 field goal, and that was mid-first quarter, and that was the last field goal he scored in the game? Really? Okay.
That's your guy.
No, he's George
now he's George Paul again.
Throws me off when you do that.
I thought he was Paul George. I mean, you like Paul George. You had him in the MVP discussion.
I had him leading the MVP, but I just go night to night. I say what I see, and I was seeing a guy who had taken over the lead in the MVP, but that was about 6 weeks back. And then I think he hurt his shoulder. I don't know how, but that's what they kept saying.
Well, I think it's a neck-and-neck finish, but I like James Harden. The question is, Russ, what's going to be his stat line? He's probably going to have a triple-double, but will he be efficient?
Yeah, well, he's been in the playoffs without Kevin Durant. He has averaged 6 turnovers a game. It's hard to win when you average 6 turnovers. Yeah. It's just too many.
Yeah, because if you get a lead, because what happens when you start turning the ball over, Skip, when you have a lead, you allow the team to get back in the ball game without giving you opportunity to put the ball up against the rim.
Yeah.
So with that being said, he just needs to take better care of the ball. But he needs to shoot the ball better.
Yeah.
All shots aren't good shots. You're not this great shooter. You're a scorer, not a shooter. And I understand the determined, shooters shoot, but that's not what Russ is.
Yeah, I promise you, he'll be even more possessed tonight because of what happened last night at Staples Center, because his ex-teammate was the talk of the NBA once again last night, Kevin Durant.
That's okay.
And it hurts him. It eats at him.
Skip, he's not as good a player as Kevin Durant. Why would that eat at you?
Once upon a time, Oklahoma City management decided he was
They were wrong. They were flat wrong, dead wrong, DA wrong.
He just needs to be careful not to do too much.
Oh, you think Russell's the caliber player as KD?
I do not. But again, do I love the way he plays with that crazed rage? I do.
Yeah.
And when this team's right, it's good. It's better than Portland.
All right. Another game tonight. I'm sure Skip will be watching this one closely. Will number 2 lead the Raptors to another win tonight? Maybe we'll say his name next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. We've got a big Game 3 in Orlando tonight between the Raptors and Magic. The series is tied 1-1, but Toronto crushed Orlando by 29 in Game 2, led by Kawhi Leonard's 37 points. Skip,
Who?
You know who.
Who's that guy?
Who is that guy?
Skip, do you give the Magic any chance to win this series?
I do. I give the Magic a chance to win this game tonight because the Magic have been a dangerous team all year long. They went 25-16 at home. And guess who they beat at home by 13? LeBron James. Guess who they beat at Staples by 4? LeBron James. Dangerous team.
Are they playing LeBron James?
Well, I don't know. They're playing number 2 and Danny Green. And I just want to state, for the record, I do not miss number 2 because we got DeRozan, we got Jakob Poeltl, who, by the way, is doing a number on Jokic right now. He is really doing a defensive number. He is a really good basketball player. And we got a new star in Derrick White, so we do not miss you, number 2, and good luck tonight in Orlando.
Well, the Magic has a chance to win if Kawhi gets lost at Disney. The rest of the series, that's the only chance. He's averaging 31 points a game.
I think Ben Simmons got lost there.
Whatever. He's shooting 62. He's shooting 62% from the floor, 54% from 3. They're not winning this series, Skip. You know that. It's just your blatant dislike for Kawhi because he was injured. Skip, he got injured.
He quit on us.
No, he didn't.
It's okay because we got guys who want to play now.
Well, you ain't got. You won't have another guy like that.
Huh. Well, I don't know. Isn't that series 1-1? It seems like it's just 1-1.
At this point. That is it for us. We'll be back Monday morning, 9.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.